That's where, you got to mentally prepare that maybe your legs won't be there in the beginning of the game, and you got to manage it by being in the right spots. And we didn't do a good enough job of that.
Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie with us for the first 2 hours of the show before he heads back on the road as the Blues are in Dallas.
I mean, we just got back. Why not leave again?
Yeah. Man, that is a brutal road trip. But January, you got a lot of home games coming up.
January's much better.
Yeah. Let's not mince words. You got to beat that team last night. You've got to beat an overmatched opponent. We've talked about this.
They're only 3 points behind the Blues in standings.
Well, Jamie, talent-wise, roster-wise, you got to beat that team.
Yeah, Celebrini kid. That guy's dynamic.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
He is pretty good. That second goal was a beaut. Now, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Jamie,
Anthony, bigger question for you.
Don't you?
He's a filibustering.
Yeah.
He is.
No, Carey. Stop.
You don't spin this thing.
No. I just have a question for you. How long was the celebration after the game? Like, did you pop champagne or did you just spray beer?
I was on the Niners last night, so I was not celebrating. I like the Niners. You guys knew this.
Another Bay Area team.
Yeah, no, this is true.
And
At least he's consistent.
I think he's talking about the hockey
I'm
game.
certainly not a Rams fan, as you guys know. I thought it was a bad spot for them last night, so I was not popping any celebration last night. And then my Blues lost. So honestly, my Blues lost last night.
Huh?
So kind of a tough one.
You're wearing a Sharks t-shirt underneath that hoodie.
I'm not wearing a Sharks t-shirt. I'm glad we got these cameras now, because at least that part of the bit goes away.
I saw it. Celebrini too. That was weird. That's quick.
Jamie, you lost to a crap Sharks team last night. How did you let this happen?
How did I let this happen?
That's correct.
That's totally my fault.
That's correct.
You specifically.
Yeah, guys, I should have been better. Clearly, I apologize to Blues Nation for losing that game.
Thank you. Now, what happened? In hockey terms.
Too long to get going, man. We talked about it yesterday. What I say, very first thing, start on time.
Yeah, they did not.
Did not.
No.
Did not. And look, I think the players and Jim Montgomery handled the post-game pressers pretty damn good. I thought they were pretty honest. But what's hard to explain to, I guess, fans who are not traveling around and doing all this stuff, like what's hard to explain to them is how difficult that is and how difficult it is to come back and play that first game back when you've been traveling in a different two different time zones. And like, there was, it's excuses. Okay. They're excuses, however, / facts. Like, you can call it whatever you want.
Right.
And the players knew it. Jim Montgomery said pregame to the team, like, we got to be ready to go. Like, we got, like, get your brains in it, get your bodies in it. Like, come on. And it just took them a little too long. And unfortunately, they fell short. And I thought going into that third period, I actually felt good about it.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I thought, okay, they're going to get a big push here in the third. And they're a much better team than the Sharks. So that's going to be a really lopsided push when it happens. And it happened. And then we got a couple of young guys on the ice for the fourth goal. It's unfortunate. As I saw it happening, I knew exactly what went wrong. It's, P.O. Joseph gets caught in the offensive zone, but that's okay. The coaches are encouraging the defenseman to hold the line, keep the puck in the zone. Dylan Holloway was supposed to be above the play. He was-ish, and then when P.O. Joseph sort of got the puck, he kind of stopped. He was like cheating on the offensive side. I wouldn't say cheating, he was anticipating. Probably a better word for that in that instance. Then the puck got out. So there was 2-on-1, but Holloway got on his horse, and he got back. And you see Matthew Kessel point. Take that guy, take that guy. Problem is, though, and here's the rule, and I said this on the air last night. The rule of thumb is you play that 2-on-1 like it's a 2-on-1 until that guy completely has the other guy covered. Then you can get aggressive. Matthew Kessel pointed to the eventual goal scorer, or Wallman, and then played the 2-on-1 like a 1-on-1. Problem is Holloway wasn't quite there yet.
Yep.
So the pass beat Kessel to the open player, Wallman, empty net. Ideally, Matthew Kessler just stays in the middle. Probably another half second. Holloway catches Wallman. And now you can get aggressive. Or you just stay where you're at, and the pass to Wallman's not available. And now the shooter and Binnington have the one-on-one duel. And I like Binnington in that situation. But it's little things like that. We'll call them teaching moments. But we knew these things were going to happen. Yeah. This is part of a retool. This is part of the youth being in the lineup. Play the young guys. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Every now and then it kind of blows up, and you learn from it. Monty and Mike Weber, the D coach, they're going to go over that. They're going to talk to them. They'll sort it out. And next time, it'll be a different scenario.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between, you said, excuses and reasons. Like, that's a reason. You're on the road that many games. You talked about it yesterday, how this could be a game that you have to get into it early. Normally when you're playing teams that are not to your level, if you let them linger around, hang around, they start to gain confidence, and then it becomes difficult to close the door on them. So I think that's what they had. And Celebrini is a really good hockey player. Like, I'm going to make a bold statement right now. He's really good.
He's better and will be better than Connor Bedard.
Wow.
He's already better than him.
He's really good. Like, that second goal, just the patience and where he shot, I'm like, how did he even make this shot?
Did you see the subtle movement of the stick? So here, I picked it up on the replay last night because I'm like, because Falk was right there.
Yeah.
Hit stick on puck. You watch Celebrini, and he goes, and then just before he shoots it, he pulls it back like another foot and a half, and then shoots it. So now Falk's stick is fully extended, but he can't get to the puck because Celebrini has created extra space for himself. And then that was a laser that he fired.
It was amazing. And so, again, when you have a guy that is talented, you may have a team that may not be as talented, but they are able to hang around, linger around. And again, all of you do 3 weeks essentially on the road. Like, you're tired, Jamie. You don't play. I haven't seen you lace them up and play 1 minute of ice time.
No.
I haven't seen it. And you came in, you're tired.
It's a grind, man.
It is. Traveling and in and out of suitcases. And so, and I'm not an excuse guy at all, but that can be part of the reason.
I think it's a fact.
I agree.
Right? But
it's
a lot of people
of
be like, it's excuses.
But it's part of it. If you've never experienced that, like the fatigue aspect of it, it's like playing on a Thursday night. Man, I'm tired. Like, my body does not feel right. I got to go do it. Both teams are dealing with it, but it don't make me less tired. So I think that was part of it, and hopefully, they're back on the road again for one game, correct?
One game, back for 2, back on the road for 3.
Hopefully you find some rest here in the next week and a half to kind of recharge your battery.
And what people don't understand, and Carey, I don't know if it's as prevalent in the NFL because it's the 1 game a week, but I'll let you answer that question. But the dehydration is real.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, obviously you're dehydrated from playing, but then you practice every day too. So there's a certain level of dehydration. But then when you fly, flying all the time is dehydrating.
Yeah.
And players are slamming down water, and it's not like it used to be. Guys aren't out at the bars all night drinking. And people, you're dehydrated because you mixed in that brown bottle. You don't know.
In the 90s,
me, absolutely. That's what happened. But nowadays, these guys are special protein drinks and supplements and waters and cases of water and all this stuff, and they still can't stay completely hydrated.
Jamie, I don't know if you've ever seen or ever had a cramp on the plane, but it is like one of the worst moments.
Sorry?
Cramp.
Oh.
Locked up.
I was like, well, there's a team rule. We don't do that on the plane.
No, cramp.
Yeah, I know. I got it mixed up, Carey.
All right, yeah. People lock up on that plane. There's nowhere to go. Like, you're up in there. You're there. So you do become dehydrated. The traveling does play an impact, play a role into all of it. Again, it's not an excuse. It's part of a reason, but, you still have to get it done. And like you said, if you jump on that team early and don't go down 2 goals, you probably have a better chance in that game. But once you allow a team that is not to your level to linger around and hang around, they start to gain confidence, and it's hard to get back in.
That Sharks team, too, by the way, full credit to them. Mm-hmm. They worked their asses off. Like, from the puck drop, they are less talented than the Blues man for man, for sure. Do they have a game breaker? Yeah, they do. Celebrini, he's a fantastic hockey player. But the rest of that team, man, it was like a bar brawl. They're late hits, cheap shots, cross checks. Like,
they know what they got to do.
But so I tried to explain that to somebody today at the gym. They're like, wow, that Sharks team's dirty. And I'm like, no, they're playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
I played on some crappy teams in my career, and we used to say, guys, the sooner we can drag this out into the alley, the better we have a chance to win the hockey game.
Right.
And so first shift, you go out and do something stupid. Let's turn this into a brawl.
Right.
Then the rest of the other team's not trying to score goals, trying to get even. At that point, we're winning.
Yeah, the Pistons had an era in the late 80s and 90s that took down the Boston Celtics and Los Angeles
With
Lakers
that
reign
mindset.
with that idea. So, yeah, it
But
works.
To Carey's point, you let a team hang around long enough, which is what you did, or you let them get ahead by too many.
Yeah.
Because you end up scoring, you end up getting the 2 goals, 3 goals, actually. You get to the point where you're looking to tie up. You would have had to win.
Yeah.
You should have won that game.
Yeah. So the Hot Stove League is cooking. We'll give you the latest on where local product Devin Williams is headed, and we'll also talk about what the flippin' Cubs just did. That's next on 101 ESPN. National League is cooking right now. The Brewers have acquired Caleb Durbin from the Yankees as well as nasty Nestor Cortez in exchange for local kid Devin Williams of the Brewers. So Devin Williams will be the next closer of the New York Yankees.
That's cool. It's interesting.
Do you guys think that given this isn't an overwhelming deal for the Brewers? They do get a starter. I think Cortez's contract is up at the end of the year. And then they get the 25th best prospect from the Yankees. Now, these rankings are subjective. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that, he is the 25th best player within that farm system. But still, we're not talking about a top 10, top 15 prospect going in, top 20 prospect going in return here for Devin Williams. It was just Cortez and then one of the Yankees' lower prospects. Does this make you change your mind on Ryan Helsley, seeing this return?
That you're going to get more,
no,
or that you're going to get less?
And maybe the return for Helsley isn't that great right now. So you keep him for now and risk that he doesn't get hurt, and maybe you reevaluate at the deadline.
I think we kind of figured that, though. Like that I don't know what everyone else, I don't know what the expectation was. I said this before. I thought the best time to trade him would have been the trade deadline last year, because you have all of those teams that feel like they got a chance to actually make a championship run, and they're right there. They can taste it. When you're in the offseason, everybody thinks it, but there's not such a sense of urgency. And so then the risky run is, okay, well, let's wait till this trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Cool. What if something bad happens? Mm-hmm. And then you don't get anything in return? So I don't know if your expectations, not you specifically, but if people's expectations for what you would get back from Ryan Helsley would be as high as it should be. That's just how I look. I feel like the trade deadline is always going to be the best time, because that's when people are in their most pressing time. I got to get this right now. I need it, and it's going to help me win a championship.
Yeah, and that's why I think the Cardinals missed the window.
Yeah.
They missed the last trade deadline window with a healthy Ryan Helsley who was shoving. And I can't remember where they were in the standings at the trade deadline, but I can't imagine they weren't that close. Now, I know they went and got Fetty because they thought, well, we have a chance here. So you're saying there's I think they were like 3 games back. Maybe.
But it was like 4 teams. They were all muddled together.
I think they had a better shot at the wild card than the NL Central, if I remember correctly.
I'm just talking playoffs.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Cardinals were a game and a half out of the wild card on July 31st.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's why they didn't do it, though. But that's why they didn't do it. A game and a half back here, I mean, we can say we want now because hindsight's great, right? But at a game and a half back, you can't be trading off your best assets.
Okay.
Not if you want to get back in the playoffs and show your fan base.
No.
I mean, I think for me, if you watch, you've been around teams that man, this team is a championship caliber team. You've been around teams that with the right things, we could potentially make something happen. And then you've been around teams that you're like, man, we just ain't got it. Like, we just don't have it. The numbers don't actually indicate what we are. And that's what I felt about that Cardinals team. Like,
yeah, but you're still only a game and a half out.
But if you're being realistic, not optimistic, but being realistic, and you're looking at it and saying, yes, we are a game and a half out. But realistically, this is not a championship caliber team. This is not a team that can make a push in the playoffs, even with we go out and sign an Eric Fetty or we bring in a one right-handed bat in Tommy Pham. That's not you didn't do enough.
They didn't want to win a
with
championship, though, Carey. That's the problem. See, this is where they're missing the mark.
Well, then what are we doing?
But here, you're thinking championships, as you should. As a champion yourself, you're thinking it's championship or bust.
It should be.
Cardinals weren't thinking that. The Cardinals were thinking, let's just get in the playoffs. Because last year we were last place in division. If we limp into the playoffs this year, our fan base is going to love us. We're back, baby. Mm-hmm. And we had to do nothing. We added Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham.
Well, that's a terrible thought process. It worked out exactly how it did. How it would have worked out if you'd have traded Ryan Helsley at that time. So I just feel like I think people have to be, and you can't, I say this all the time, when you're in a position of leadership, you cannot worry about what the masses say. It does not matter. You have to make decisions that you feel are in the best interest of your business, your company, your team, your family, whatever it is, and you have to stick with it no matter what the outside noise is. And if the front office can look at that roster last year at the trade deadline and say, this team can do something and make it to the playoffs. And they were lying to themselves and to the fan base. Because we all got eyes, and we all looked at this team like they got a bunch of holes. We don't even know who the cleanup hitter is. We didn't know who was going to bat. Your best two players, put them 6th and 7th. We did the lineup game every day. Why is Nolan Arenado still batting here? Why is Paul Goldschmidt still batting here? Those are your two best players, and neither one of them should have been batting that high in the lineup. Right? So if you have eyes and you're realistic about what you were watching, at that moment you should have said, our best chance to be the best for the next 3 or 4 years is to move on from him and get something in return. Now you will not.
But even with how bad they were still only a game and a half out of a playoff spot. Coming off a year that you did not make the playoffs, the fan base is frustrated. You play in a terrible division, so you should be at least making the playoffs. You were that close. Like, you have to hold on to your players and hope that Arenado, Goldschmidt end up producing that the way they did. And yeah, looking back on it and in the moment, we were like, no, they probably won't. They're not going to win the World Series. But like, you can't just have that mindset. Detroit looked like a horrible baseball team. They made the playoffs.
What did Detroit have?
They sold.
And they sold.
What did they have?
What did they have?
Yeah.
They had an ace.
Okay. They had some guys that showed up but you also said they sold. They traded Jack Flaherty. Mm-hmm. They had no intention on making the play. They're like, we're gonna get something back in return, and they ended up making it to the playoffs. The Cardinals probably could have done the same thing. We got a text here that said, they traded for Tommy Pham. Were they really trying to make the playoffs? Like, no disrespect to Tommy Pham.
They needed a right-handed bat.
Careful.
That goes on a World Series.
He hit a grand slam.
I worry about some things in life, some things I'd never worry
guy's
about.
been stabbed.
Me too.
He was also in the Arizona Diamondbacks, a guy that went to the World Series and produced for the Diamondbacks in that postseason. That wasn't a terrible trade.
But he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing at that level. Like that was.
He wasn't playing at all, Carey. They never played him.
Why?
That was the problem.
Why?
I don't know why.
Because people will say, well, he wasn't playing. He could. If you're not playing on a terrible team, what does that say?
Well,
that says a lot.
Either the player or the manager, one of them is not doing their job.
One of them want to win. I'm sure the manager wants to win. You're going to keep your job.
You don't think Tommy Pham wanted to win?
No, I'm saying if he felt like that player, if that player can help me win games, you better believe you're in the lineup every day. If you can't, you're going to be watching with me. You got the best seat in the house. So if somebody's not playing, it's probably because they're not good enough to play.
I think obviously the right answer is, the Cardinals should have traded Ryan Helsley, but there's a reason why they didn't.
The right answer now is you cross your fingers and pitch this guy until the deadline, and then you dump him this deadline for hopefully a maximum return. That's the plan. That's got to be the plan. And if I'm Mo or Chaim Bloom, I'm telling Ollie, maybe not pitch him 2 days in a row. Let's pitch him once. Give him a couple days.
Give him 3 days, 2 days in between.
Let's give him 1 inning every 4 days. Let's keep him going so that when he plays, his numbers are good.
Yeah.
But he's not tired. He's not getting hurt. That would be my thought.
You say a lot on this show, Jamie. That might be the best thing I've heard you say in a while.
This is going to be...
Thank you, Carey.
This is going to be the Kevin Shattenkirk deal all over again.
Yeah.
Where they waited and they held on and we'll figure it out at the deadline. And they got next to nothing for Shat Deuces.
But I believe that turned into Zach Sanford.
Eventually,
and the Blues won the Stanley Cup.
Zach Sanford scored in Game 7.
Cardinals are going to win a World Series is what Marsh is saying.
Boys, we're getting Zach Sanford.
Yeah. All right. That's not going to happen. Jeff Passan, by the way, of ESPN, is reporting the Cubs have acquired outfielder Kyle Tucker in a trade with the Astros. The Astros got third baseman Isaac Paredes, right-handed pitcher Hayden Wesniewski, and 2014 first-rounder Cam Smith. So the Cubs making some moves to improve their lineup. We'll get into that a little bit later on as we look at this NL Central and how things are developing. But last night there was a moment that occurred in the 49ers-Rams game that as soon as I heard about it, I go, I can't wait to hear
Oh, yeah.
what Carey and Jamie would do to De'Vondre Campbell if he were their teammates. We'll tell you what happened if you missed it. Those guys will share their professional expertise on the situation as well. That's all next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Happy holidays from the crew over at Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. And right now, during holiday season, they've got the Chevy Red Tag Bonus Cash. What that is more savings. Johnny Londoff Chevrolet, always looking to save you money. How about saving up to $4,000 off of select 2025 Chevy Trailblazers? How about 0% APR for 60 months on all electric vehicles, or 0% for 36 months on a 2025 Chevy Equinox? Johnny Londoff and the team over there, their goal is not just to sell you a car, but to make you a Johnny Londoff Chevrolet customer for life. Each member of the Johnny Londoff Chevrolet team, from parts and service to finance and sales, is committed to ensuring their customers are always completely satisfied. I've been a customer for over 25 years, and I've always been completely satisfied. They've got great deals going on over there. They've got two locations, the original location in Florissant, Missouri, the new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peter, so no excuse. Get to one of those locations. They've got brand new inventory, a lot of pre-owned inventory, and, of course, an unbelievable sales staff and crew over there that's going to take great care of you. So please drop by. If not, visit them online at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues fall to the San Jose Sharks last night by a final score of 4-3. They'll take on the Stars tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Also tomorrow before the Blues game, we'll have Army versus Navy. Pregame starts at 1. Also today, the Brewers ship Devin Williams to the Yankees while the Cubs acquire Kyle Tucker from the Astros. We'll dive more into that throughout the remainder of the show. Last night, though, the Rams defeated the 49ers 12-6. A terrible game, but a very entertaining thing came out of that. We're going to discuss it, something that makes your skin crawl if you're a competitor. We'll dive into that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
De'Vondre Campbell, he didn't play and he went into the locker room at some point.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to play today.
Play today?
Yep.
The coaching staff?
He did when I asked him why he didn't want to go in.
During the game or before?
No, that was in the third quarter.
That is one person who just decided not to, play for his teammates. And I don't think that doesn't make our offense look at each other and be like, wow, man, we're falling apart. It's more of a, or like the defense, hey, we're falling apart. It's more of a one person making like Mooney said, a selfish decision. And I'm with Mooney on that. And I've never been around anybody that's ever done that. And I hope I'm never around anybody that does that again.
So the last voice you heard was 49ers tight end George Kittle. The first voice you heard was 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. I'm going to describe what happened last night. I'm sure most of you already know what happened, but for those that don't, let me fill you in, and then I'll shut up because I can't wait to hear what Carey and Jamie, two former professional athletes, have to say about De'Vondre Campbell, a backup linebacker for the 49ers. The only reason why he was playing was because Drake Greenlaw was coming back from the Achilles injury that he suffered during the Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. So they picked up De'Vondre Campbell. Shanahan knew him from Atlanta. Atlanta had drafted him. He was there for four years or so. He went up to Green Bay. He was a starter for the Packers for 4 or 5 seasons, and then wound up being picked up by the Niners. Last night, during the third quarter, this is from Kyle Shanahan, De'Vondre Campbell informed the coaching staff that he was not going to go into the game. This was after Greenlaw suffered another injury, or at least a setback, and he needed to come out. So they went to Campbell, hey, you're in. And he said, nope, and then went to the locker room. So he left in the third quarter. You heard George Kittle. If you heard from anybody else on the 49ers, they didn't mince words here. They didn't take the high road. They told how they said how they felt, and I don't blame them at all. But guys, as former athletes, professional athletes, what do you think about this situation with De'Vondre Campbell?
It was mind-blowing, right? He started, I guess, 11 of the 12 games. This is the first game he didn't start because Drake Greenlaw is the starter. He hurt himself in the Super Bowl. Everybody remembers it, him running onto the field and tearing his Achilles, how that just deflated the entire San Francisco 49ers team. And this was his first game back. He was starting. And to get an opportunity to go into the game because maybe Dre hurt himself again or hurt something else, and you say no. Like, nah, I'm not playing today. Okay, cool. Don't ever play here again. Mm-hmm. Like, don't ever. And this is a man that has started. He's played 128 games. He started 120 of them. Like, he's a starter in the NFL. But you signed a contract. You signed to a team knowing that the starter was eventually going to come back. And that's just how it goes. I think you heard George Kittle say it. I would feel the same way. I wouldn't even have talked about it. There's nothing to talk about here because he's no longer going to be a part of what we're doing. The level of disrespect, the disregard, and we're trying to win a game and make a playoff push. And you tell us, fast lane you, I'm not playing? Cool. Fast lane you too. Find your way back to, well, we were already at home. Find your way somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even want, if we were on the road, I wouldn't want that guy on the team playing with me.
Well, he wouldn't be.
Yeah, like, what are we doing? Find another way, bro. Find something else to do. because we're trying to win a game. We're trying to make a playoff push. We're trying to get back to the Super Bowl, which you weren't here for last year. You don't know how deflating it was when our best or second best linebacker went down for the game and was unable to continue. Yeah, do something that does not require you to be involved with San Francisco 49ers, the organization, going forward.
Yeah, so this is a messed up situation because he clearly got butthurt about not being the starter in that game. And he clearly made a decision at that point that he's just done with this crap. Whether it's done with the NFL or just done with the 49ers. The problem I have, well, several problems, but finish out the game. Play the game. It's a third quarter. Finish the game, and then if you have a problem, go talk to Kyle Shanahan. Or quit after the game and say, hey, man, I just don't have it in me. If he's going to be the starter, I'm good.
That's so selfish.
It's very selfish, Carey, but at least it's not during the game. You know, at least it gives a team a week to go find another backup.
Or hell, if you even had an inkling that you're going to do that, tell them before the game.
Wow.
They won't activate you then.
Yeah.
You were active. They were down a man last night.
I agree.
Because they didn't know he didn't want to play.
I agree. As far as a teammate is concerned, I'd just be like, you better be gone by the time this game's over.
Yeah.
Like, get your crap and everything out. Like, if whatever's left in that locker room, you're probably not getting it back. So take any personal belongings and all that stuff and don't come back. And that's it. And then that's it. You then as a leader on that team, the leadership group just goes to the Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan probably already has a decision made, but you make sure that the coach's decision is that player's not coming back through those doors anytime soon.
It was such an emotional decision by him too.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
like that. You are in your feelings, man. Like, you are so emotional in this moment that you made a decision that impact. Like, this is going to be with you. If you do go elsewhere, if you're able to get signed elsewhere, San Francisco cuts you, releases you, and you're able to get signed elsewhere, they will accept you, but they're gonna know who you are at your core. If it ain't going right, you want to quit. Or you don't want to play. You want to take your ball and go home.
Carey, how many guys, I don't know this, so NFL player, how many linebackers probably not dressed for that game that are part of the team in some capacity?
You'll probably have one or two. Like, linebackers are generally, they all dress because linebackers are special team core guys.
Yeah.
So you'll have 2 or 3 starters, and then you'll have like 3 or 4 you probably have 7 on the team, and they all are going to dress for the most part, unless they're dinged up or dealing with an injury. But if you, like Anthony was saying, if he sits down, if he's inactive for that game, you can activate somebody else that can help you with the special teams aspect of it. There's probably not a linebacker that's going to play, but there's another person that can dress, that can help the team in another area.
The reason I ask is because how pissed I look at hockey. If I was a healthy scratch in a game and I wanted to play bad, and I see a guy that just quits halfway through the second period, and I could have been in that game.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm going with it. Is
no question.
Like, how pissed off would guys who would, I don't want to say die for the opportunity, but give their left arm to be playing in the NFL, to play in that situation, and this guy's just walking off all slow and pouty.
Well, not only like just from a teammate aspect of like, hey, we need like bodies here, but like especially in that locker room, Travarius Ward
lost his daughter.
Trent Williams just had lost his son.
Yep.
And they're out there grinding away.
Trent is at
playing.
the game. Yep. Trent was in the box. He's at the game.
He's at the game.
Like, you got
CMC,
guys.
same deal.
Man, yeah.
Fred Warner, I think, was playing with like a broken
foot
bone
in his ankle.
And this guy just doesn't want to play.
You see, I think, to me, Marsh, I completely agree with you. To me, you can be a lot of things as a professional athlete, and we've seen it. You could be a bad teammate. You could be just a hot dog. You could be a selfish player. You could be a lot of things. But you can't be a quitter. I don't think he ever plays again.
There's no way.
If I'm a team, why
would you sign him?
Right.
I wouldn't, and I certainly wouldn't even sign him as a backup.
No.
Because he clearly doesn't want to be a backup. So
right.
I'm going to avoid the drama. And we had a text here from the 618 says, It's a good one. This is why therapy and mental health is so big with athletes. Someone needed to step in and tell this guy, don't do this. I can guarantee you.
Somebody did.
Somebody said it.
Yeah, somebody.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Don't do that.
When the linebacker coach told him, "Hey, go in," and he's like, "Nah." Okay, Coach Shanahan, he said he's not going in. What? What's going on? He hurt? No, he just said he don't want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had a conversation with him. Yeah. It might have been Dre Greenlaw. It might have been Fred Warner. It might have been somebody in the linebacker room like, bro, you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, are you? Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Matter of fact, not only am I not going in, I don't even want to stand over here with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even want to stand on the sideline with y'all.
I think Shanahan kicked him off the sidelines.
Well, he walked off. So, I don't even want to be a part of this. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I got there's a result. There's an answer for that solution, that problem that you have.
Yeah.
You won't have to be here no more. You won't have to stand on the sideline. And I can tell you, like, for me, a guy that was undrafted, I learned quickly, practice squad is better than no squad. He's going to learn quickly. Standing on that sideline is better than standing at home or standing in the bleachers watching a football game, because you're going to think about, man, I missed out on more money, more opportunities. Like you said, this is his 9th year. He could easily play another 3, 4, 5 years because of the position that he plays. They always need linebackers, guys that can run and get after the run game and get after the quarterback. If he never plays again, he just missed out on a lot of money and a lot of opportunities. And that's
because he probably
terrible.
could have played another handful of years, even as a backup,
Yeah.
making half the money that he's making,
Right,
but still better than zero.
Yeah, he's done. He's absolutely done. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion. Got our guy Jamie Rivers here, former Blues defenseman, among other teams. Played for half the league and half the country. Countries. Yeah. The NL Central in 2025 just got more interesting with the acquisition of Kyle Tucker to the Cubs. We're going to look at things from the NL Central viewpoint, because I think we're saying, well, the Cardinals might have a chance here if some things fall into place with their young players. But with the way the division is trending now, is that still the case? It's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to inform yourself about car insurance or home insurance, or you're looking to save money on both of those things, give Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency a call. They work alongside Allstate Insurance, and it's all about customer service, and it's about your insurance agent actually knowing what's going on. And a couple things that happen is if you call that 1-800 number, you might get someone on the phone that you just have no relationship with. You don't know them. They don't know you. They may not understand your policy, your wants, or your needs. So it's important that you find an agent that cares. And the Bibb Agency does care. And not only do they care about getting you the lowest rate possible, they also care about finding the best coverage so that you're completely covered, whether it's your car insurance or your home insurance. Can you imagine paying a low rate, but you're only half covered, and then something happens? That's when things really get out of control, and not in a great way. So please call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency today. Get a free non-committal quote. Talk to them. Ask her some questions. That number is 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
Cubs just acquired, within the hour, Kyle Tucker from the Astros. We've been talking a little bit about, kind of like where the Cardinals are at right now, because at least it won't be what we've seen in the last couple of years, which is basically very predictable to not great. Here's the deal, though. This move, Cubs are now the favorites to win the NL Central. Debate's over. Conversation's over. They added Kyle Tucker. He's going to hit second, probably for them. In between Ian Happ and Seiya Suzuki. Cody Bellinger's your cleanup hitter.
Is he coming
Swanson's
back?
fifth.
Weren't they trying to move on from him?
Cody Bellinger, yeah. But for now, I'm just going to assume that he's the guy.
Yeah.
So if they do keep him, that's a loaded lineup. And their pitching staff is damn good, too. They've got Imanyaga, they've got Steele, Tyone, Matthew Boyd, and Assad. That's the team to beat in the NL Central. And again, I'm just talking about the NL Central. I'm not talking about the National League.
Well, let's not forget they went and signed that big-time manager.
Well, he was
left the Brewers high and dry.
He did?
They didn't do that.
They haven't recovered
since then. No, I don't think
they let Willie Adames go. They traded Devin Williams. They're a mess, those Brewers. They'll probably win it.
They probably will.
They'll probably win the Central.
Yeah, your Cardinals have a chance to win it. They do. Listen, why'd you look in there?
I was wondering
if they were coming to get me and check on me.
I was going to flag down Ryder and say he's drinking again, but let me hear you out first.
Well, so we talked about last year. Your two best players didn't perform well. One of them is not here, so that's not going to be an issue. It's addition by subtraction, right?
Okay.
The other one may not be here either, okay? Another more addition by subtraction. Wilson Contreras won't be getting hit by baseball bats because he won't be behind the plate.
Okay.
He's going to play a full 140 games over at first base and DH. Sounds good, right? One of your best hitters. He was one of your best players. Now, the question becomes, few questions. Can Lars Nootbaar stay healthy and play every day in left field?
Probably not.
You're ruining my argument, fellas. Like I'm trying to be positive for why the Cardinals can win the division.
Okay,
so let's try it again.
Your positive crap all last year.
Can Lars Nootbaar stay healthy the entire year?
No.
God, dog it, you guys. Okay,
based on his,
let's assume
based on his history.
Lie to you?
That's a good question.
Hang on, Anthony. Ask it again.
Can Lars Nootbaar stay healthy the entire year?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Right? Right?
Just lie to him.
They got new.
Oh, yeah, totally.
They got a new
he
strength.
can.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, the question is,
he won't.
it's not can, it's
I didn't
will.
ask will.
Can, yeah.
He
can.
I said can.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he can. Yeah, Carey,
he
go with it.
can. They got a new strength and conditioning coach. He's going to work on some things.
It's going to help the groins for sure.
Definitely. You get that adductor and abductor thing going on.
Do you use that machine at the gym?
Do not.
I could see you in a pair of basketball shorts.
Look, I started wearing my shorts the thigh high, 6 inches above
Get on the
knee.
adductor.
That's the Jamie Rivers shorts.
I wear them now. Yeah,
Although I don't do that machine wearing those shorts.
Yeah, that's
not yet.
I mean, if I was asked to.
Not yet.
So Lars Nootbaar stays healthy.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
You get the first year version of Jordan Walker and the second year version of Nolan Gorman. You got a healthy Wilson Contreras. You got a pitching rotation that surprises you with some younger guys stepping up. You got your veterans in Eric Fetty and Sonny Gray, right? You and you got stellar defense, whether you want to put Scott or Siani there. Lockdown defenders, right? Cover much ground. Don't shake your head. No,
I'm with you. Yeah,
I'm in.
Nodding.
So
I'm in.
If all of these things go right, you spent less money, right? Mm-hmm. And you got younger players, and you got an opportunity to make a push and a run in the Central.
From the guy that thought the team was out of it a game and a half back at the deadline
last year.
Now he's ordering the rings.
He's different this year.
I was watching. I told you all, after the season.
Intoxicated.
Going here might be. Not yet.
Flag down Ryder.
On Cardinals baseball.
Yeah. Yes. Drunk on Cardinals ball. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So all of these things are possible. And if it happens, you two, specifically Lars, stay healthy. let's prove these guys. Let's
Okay,
show these guys.
all
that-
of these things possible, but what's reasonable?
You listed like 25 things
I
having
gave
to
you
go
5.
right.
I gave you 4.
Lars got to stay healthy.
That's one.
Who's your cleanup hitter?
Wilson Contreras.
Your first baseman, Anthony.
Yeah, okay, clearly.
Yeah.
First baseman has to be
Have we
cleanup
talked
hitters.
about? I feel like the whole defense thing is being overlooked.
What are you talking about? Did you see that guy? He can catch a ball.
Well, I mean the whole defense.
As an entirety, like
like the entire
as you
team?
talking about the
Oh,
catchers.
Marshy.
Oh, well, Herrera can be your cleanup hitter. You can put Wilson in the 3-hole. Now your lineup's better.
Is it?
Yeah, I was working on this a couple of days ago. I got stuck at the cleanup hitter for about 45 minutes.
I got 3 players in.
I got 3 players in. I got
You
stuck
got
at the
lost.
cleanup. He's like, "What do you got to clean up?" I said, "Come back to me later. I haven't gotten that
Come
far
back to me
yet."
next
Whoa,
month.
whoa, big fella!
Whoa,
I'm
slow
not
down.
there yet.
Yeah.
I am, but just you know what? It'll be a little,
Can't
be a little
figure it
while.
out. Yeah.
Okay, so the Cubs are winning the division.
Oh, God.
Cubs are favored.
Brewers will probably come in second.
Cubs are
Out of
favored.
Cincinnati with Terry
Reds will be
Francona.
third.
Cubs are favored.
Cardinals
Brewers
maybe
still win.
fourth.
You know
with
what?
Guys you never heard of.
Let me check these out.
And the Reds are an interesting third.
Yeah.
Cardinals 4, Pirates 5,
Pirates, they got Paul
and
Skeens.
there we go.
Every 5 days, Pirates will be great.
Every 5 days, Pittsburgh Pirates will have an opportunity to win.
Yes.
Good for them. Okay, well, we cleaned that up, right? So Tucker goes to the Cubs, and the Cardinals need to have 487 things go right
What are
for
the
them
odds,
to make it in the division.
They are slightly above the Pittsburgh Pirates at plus 800
The Cardinals?
to win the division.
What are the Pirates?
The Pirates are plus 950,
What are the Reds?
plus 700.
What
the
is
Brewers are plus 240, and the Cubs are minus 105.
That's what I thought.
I'm going across the water, and I'm going to put a few dollars on my Cardinals.
Water? What water?
Across the water. I got to go across the water. No, not that far. It's across the bridge.
He's talking about the bridge.
That's St. Charles.
No, other way.
That bridge.
When's the next time the Cardinals have like a realistic chance of winning the division?
Oh, come on.
I don't want you to think that hard, but I'm being serious.
2030?
No.
No, I mean, look, we don't know.
2026.
Paul
We
Spit.
don't know.
27.
Maybe.
They hit on some of these young pitchers. You never know. Serious about
Never
that.
can tell.
No.
You're going to be surprised.
You never know when a window is about to open up or close.
We're putting our faith in a
ask the
team that
49ers.
lost to the Sharks last night.
Well, that was tough. But you know what? They're going to rebound and play cleaner hockey, which is what we're going to talk about next on 101 ESPN.
When it comes to the Blues, I watch the really good teams and you watch the Blues. And the really good teams, they just make cleaner plays. The pucks aren't coming in all the time at the guy's shin level. They're not trying to force every pass into the middle and have it get deflected away, and things like that. Their top skill guys are just making cleaner plays and sniping. And I think that era for the next era for the Blues is coming with this next wave of players to complement what they have here. There's still, to me, just a little bit of a difference between those teams and the Blues.
Chris Kerber was joining BCAN Ferrario doing his regular hits, and that was something he had mentioned that he had saw thus far early in hockey. 303 Your Time Check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie, what do you think the difference is when it comes to the Blues and some of the top-end teams right now?
That's pretty easy.
I mean, besides the obvious, which is who they, the roster.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's the difference.
What about style of play?
Well,
do you think, like you had mentioned earlier, for example, the mistake that a couple of young guys made on the fourth goal last night, something that experience will teach them otherwise, right?
Yeah, but those other teams went through that too. They had their young players at some point. Like in professional sports, good organizations, it's cyclical. Mm-hmm. You build up your young guys and you get a chance to run for a division, maybe a good playoff run, maybe a championship. Then it runs its course, and you got to start all over again.
Yeah.
So the teams that are at the top of the league right now, go back and look. They've all gone through this. They've all gone through this problem of retool, rebuild, whatever. The Colorado Avalanche are a prime example. They're not having a great year, but their goaltending sucks this year. That's why they went and traded for another guy. But look at the first overall picks. Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar. These are all top-end guys. Why did they get those top-end players? Because they stunk.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time.
Sure.
Do you have to be a high-end player to make crisp plays and be
consistently
sound structurally?
I think consistently.
Consistently. It's not even that. It's like this whole tape-to-tape pass and sloppy hockey. Good players do it. Bad players do it. It happens. The really good players don't do it very often. It's limited.
Mm-hmm.
I play with so many guys that are so good, and they just pass the puck tape to tape every time.
So can the Blues, though, be one of those top teams based on what Jim Montgomery is harping on when it comes to the small details? Can you clean those things up? Yeah, right.
That's why they're going to be good. That's why they're playing better now than they were before.
Right. And obviously you're still seeing a little bit of it, but once they do clean that stuff up, regardless if they have a high-end skill player compared to some of the names that you just mentioned, can they still be one of those top teams without those types of players if they do pay attention to the little minuscule things within a game?
How many Blues players were in the top 20 scoring or even top 30 scoring in 2019?
0.
Get that man his prize.
Pay that man his money.
To answer your question, Marshy, yes, you can be competitive, but you have to be willing to play the game with the details, with the structure, within the systems, all that stuff. And you have to be willing to outcompete your opponent. So, yes, it can be done. Mm-hmm. Now, teams that have all-star players or several of them are all-world players, their chances are greater. Mm-hmm. But you just go back last year and you look at the Florida Panthers. Yes, Matthew Tkachuk is a phenomenal talent. Head-to-head against Connor McDavid, though, who's better, do you think? Just hockey, skill, all that stuff. Connor McDavid. Head-to-head with Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl, probably, right? Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup, though. Why?
Because they play a team game.
And they played that sound defensive structure. And you talk to anybody on that team, and they said, once we get up by a goal, we know we're winning. We can just close you out. So it's not always the most talented teams that win, as we know. They certainly help your squad. And I'm not saying Florida was deprived of talent.
You got to have some.
They had a lot of. Listen, Matthew Tkachuk is an elite player. Barkov is an elite player.
All-world goaltender helps. And the Blues, I believe, have one of those.
I believe they do, too. I know they do. He's proven it. Mm-hmm. And Joel Hofer is proving that he is the future somewhere, whether it's here or somewhere else. He's the future number one somewhere.
Hopefully it's here.
Well, hopefully it's here, but you never know. Things.
He can wait a little bit.
Might be a hard sell.
Wait a little bit longer, won't you?
Your time will come.
Time will come. So, listen, guys, I go back to this all the time. Just because the team is playing better now, and just because I think a playoff spot is attainable, doesn't mean we're not still going through the retool. It doesn't mean we're not still developing young players who aren't quite there yet from a consistency standpoint. Last night, the fourth goal, we're going to type of sloppy hockey. This is the young guy. Yeah, that's part of the maturation process. If you watch the NHL on a nightly basis, every team you watch will have those growing pains within their roster. Even the stud teams have young players that make mistakes. And, now, do they have several young players making mistakes or one or two? I mean, sometimes that can be the difference, too, because the teams that are contending probably don't have a slew of young players that are in their roster. Right now, the Blues have a lot of youth in their lineup.
What about the veterans who make those mistakes? Is that a different conversation?
Of course it is. If a veteran player is consistently just playing sloppy and making mistakes, one, he's going to find himself out of the lineup. Two, he's going to find himself out of the league. They just don't have time for that. And just because they played in the league for a number of years, that's not good enough, because you've probably just been an average player those 4 or 5 years that you've been in the league. If you're that crappy at passing or handling the puck or reading the play or whatever it is, you've been in the league because he's fine. But trust me, the road ends at some point, and people stop signing you.
Or you just walk off.
Or you just walk off. You tell your teammates and your coach that I just don't feel like playing today. It's not a great option, but it is an option. We saw that last night.
That's not the best option.
No, it's not a good option at all.
Don't quit on your team. No, I agree with you, Jamie. I think younger players, like that's the difference when you talk about like the different levels of players. Like you got your guys that are pros that are veterans, and then you got your guys that are all-stars, then you got your guys that are, Hall of Famers. Like the guy at the higher level, the more skill you have, but you also, the less mistakes you make. Like it's just a different level of your game, and I think the Blues right now have some guys that can be really good players and will be really good players, but they're still learning the game, still learning the National Hockey League game, not the game of hockey, but at that level, how to make those tape-to-tape passes consistently, not having to turn over the puck, not having the mistakes that drive coaches crazy. So once you get all of those things square and make less mistakes, you tend to win more games. It's about putting pressure on teams, and generally the team that makes the most mistakes is going to end up losing that game some way, somehow.
Which is why I like the way Jim Montgomery is approaching all of this, is with the details, the process and the details. And when you think you've got the details, he's got more details for you, so that you continue to grow as a team and you continue to improve, whether it's defensively, offensively, all those things. And we've seen an uptick in every single category for the Blues since Jim Montgomery's taken over. And you can talk about a coach's bump. Oh, the coach's bump. Okay, that does happen, but usually you can't, after 5, 6, 7 games, quantify it. Like, what is it? What is the coach's bump? I don't really know. It's just a coach's bump. Players play harder. With Jim Montgomery, you just look at the numbers, and every stat is better since he's come. So that's no longer the coach's bump.
Yeah.
That is...
We've got a trend here.
Yes, we've got a trend. We've got a team that's ascending rather than just kind of stumbling around out there.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. The game in Dallas tomorrow night is going to be a tough one. That's a hell of a hockey club. Will there be motivation there? Yeah. If Radek Fox is back in the lineup, that's his old team. He's going to want to win that game. Jim Montgomery, it's not that he's got a bone to pick, but you still have, no matter how it ended for you, even if it was your own fault, you still have that, I want to win.
Yeah, you have that, I'm doing better now.
Yeah. You should have kept me type thing.
Right.
But now I know he doesn't feel that way because they were great to him. And trust me,
there was
a unique situation for sure.
Right.
But still, nonetheless, there's fire in the belly.
Sure.
Then you've got the Rangers, who I don't really know what the hell they are. They're a great team that's playing bad right now.
Yeah.
They've got an all-world goalie. They've got like some of the best players: Panarin, Kreider, Zibanejad. It's just not working. But what if it works on Sunday?
Right.
So you have to be careful there. And again, you're flying to Dallas. It's a short flight, okay? But you're flying back after the game. We'll get back about 12:15, maybe at home by 1. You got a 5 o'clock game on Sunday afternoon. down at Enterprise. So that works against you. It's not an excuse. It's a fact. And then after that, you got New Jersey, who, by the way, they feel like they owe you one. Mm-hmm. You dominated the first 10 minutes of the game. After that, you barely touched the puck in the second period, and then you managed to hang on in the third.
Hey, you shut him out, Jamie.
You did. Well,
you shut him right out.
Jordan Binnington, you should high-five him after that game. He was incredible. Mm-hmm. So tough.
I tried. I still got the thing going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Restraining order.
Yeah, you should probably keep your distance.
Yeah.
But you've got those three games that are going to be tough ones. Then you go to Florida. South Florida's not what it used to be. That's a gauntlet now. Mm. You play the Lightning and you got to play the Panthers. That's your reward. Hey, we get to go to Florida. Yeah, there's sunny and some beaches. Yeah, but you got to play the Lightning and the Panthers.
Right.
The Lightning are going to pass the puck around at 100 miles an hour all over the place, and the Panthers are going to kick your teeth in. So that's your line. And then you finish off before Christmas with the Red Wings, which, I'm going to say this, it's a winnable game. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but it's a winnable game. But before that, you've got Dallas, Rangers, Devils, Tampa, Florida. Those are your 5 games.
Suddenly I'm depressed.
No, I'm just saying that...
That was tough. That was tough to hear.
At least we don't have to play the Sharks.
Yeah, because they got your number. That's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. So we talked about De'Vondre Campbell, him walking off the field last night in San Francisco. There was also a game that was played.
Was it? Was there a game, Anthony? There were 2 teams in different uniforms.
Did 60 guys have the under?
Wow. That was
rain, nastiness.
When when it's over.
49ers, you thought they had issues going into the game. I think they had even more that coming out, and it's not even about De'Vondre Campbell. De'Vondre Campbell.
Yeah,
as soon as I said, I go,
he doesn't deserve the.
It hit the ear. I'm like, that was De'Vondre Campbell.
Williams.
Not going to work here anymore. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll get into the Thursday night football game next on 101 ESPN.
All right, this holiday season, if you're looking to give somebody in your life an awesome gift, how about you go over to mysoundstory.com. Let's not forget the Sound Story is an hour-long interview with your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your grandma. I mean, whoever you want in your family. You could even do it yourself and leave a lasting memory for all of your family members to where you could talk about maybe the childhood home you grew up in, maybe Little League baseball team you played for, a coach you had in high school, your college college experience, your first job, you name it, you get to leave the memories right there, digitally recorded for all of your family and friends, for that matter, to enjoy. It's an awesome, awesome gift. And all you have to do is go to mysoundstory.com, but then enter promo code ESPN. You get 10% off a gift card for My Sound Story. And it really is just an awesome gift to give somebody. And now, right now, in 2024, this holiday season, not only is it audio, you got video, too. They've got the video interview, and you can have the audio and video, get them both for you, and have the memories last forever. Again, go to mysoundstory.com, enter promo code ESPN to get that special 10% off the holiday gift card for Sound Story. Again, that promo code is ESPN at mysoundstory.com. For you, for them, forever.
They played football in Santa Clara last night, just not very well.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't play football.
Well, it's bad weather, right?
No, it's damn weather. Those guys never played in rain. You kidding me?
12-6, all field goals.
First time all season, no touchdowns.
That ain't no football. That's
That's a field goal fest.
That's a Steelers game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, bless you.
Didn't
Thank you.
the
I use the whole
Falcons
purpose
at
to
least
block this so
scored?
people don't know, Anthony.
Yeah, but I still heard it.
The Falcons
I wanted
scored
to
that
bless
game.
you.
They scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that was last night was the first game all season there was no touchdown scored.
The Rams didn't get a
scored one
first down on their first 5 possessions.
Still won the game.
They went 13 plays. I guess one of 4. Oh my God.
Marshy was ticked. Local product. It was Kyron Williams. Did he get at least 10 yards in every other quarter, Marsh?
I stopped watching.
I'm sure he did because he wound up with 108. So Marsh's bet the board play last night was Kyron Williams over 10 yards in every quarter. He finished the first quarter 9 yards. Oh, that's a tough one.
And then they put Blake Corum in.
Yeah.
And not only did he get 3 yards, which at first I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, Blake Corum on the run. I go,
That's
damn it.
not Kyron Williams.
And then he dropped the damn ball on third down, and they gave the ball right back to the 49ers.
Speaking of dropping the ball, Deebo Samuel, if you're gonna call for the ball more, you might want to catch it on a pivotal third down play.
Why?
When your team is struggling for points. This 49ers team, unfortunately, because I've really actually enjoyed watching this team over the years, this puppy's done. Window has closed.
Oh, God.
The championship window has closed. It's up to them how quickly that thing opens, and it's going to be all because of the draft, because they've got a lot of money allocated to their guys right now.
Well, I kind of feel the same. I don't know. I'm trying to find out Brock Purdy's contract status. He's got the 5th-year option should be next year.
He doesn't have the fifth year option.
Because he was not next year. Because he was a 7th round. I forgot about that.
So is this his 4th year?
No, this is his 3rd year. So next year will be his 4th year. So next year is his final year under contract. So they do have Brandon Ayuk come back healthy. Let's see, you can squeeze one more year out of Trent Williams. Hopefully he can stay healthy. You can get Christian McCaffrey back healthy. Like those 3 pieces offensively, you still got George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. Debo needs Brandon Ayuk. Like and that's why Brandon Ayuk was so adamant about getting paid.
They all need each other.
They all need each other in order to be successful. So if you get those 3 players back, you might be able to squeeze one more championship run out of this team next year. This year is done. You've had way too many injuries, but if everybody can get back healthy and be ready to roll, maybe next year can be your final opportunity because you got to pay Brock Purdy after next year. Like and truthfully, they might be paying him going into next year. They might not want him to go into that final year of the contract because he's going to become too expensive, and they will have to franchise him, and then it's going to be it goes haywire after
So,
that.
sidebar to this conversation, because it just popped in my head. What does Brock Purdy's next contract look like?
That's a great question.
Like, I'm so perplexed because everybody disrespected him for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
He's a systems quarterback, blah, blah, blah. Kyle Shanahan's product, Fine. Okay. But he still had good seasons. This season's not great for anybody on that team.
Yeah.
But, so, like, what does Brock Purdy's contract look like? Because if Daniel Jones got what he got, and I don't think Daniel Jones should have got that money, but he got it because, well, you got to pay him.
Yeah.
Like, he's our guy. Like, you're not going to draft another guy and start all the way over, which you're doing anyways. But Brock Purdy, like, he's your guy? Do you give him the keys to the kingdom, or do you say, hey, Brock, like, we'll give you a 2-year deal at like $10 million a year?
Yeah.
And he says what? Because what's the market for Brock Purdy? I find him to be one of the most fascinating players, maybe ever, in the NFL, based on his situation.
If you're the 49ers, don't you look at it and say the Cowboys will live to regret the Dak Prescott contract?
You're not paying him that much.
The Giants did regret giving Dan. Well, to Jamie's point, though, the Giants ponied up, and you were ready to give it to him.
And you
They paid him $40 million, though.
But
$40 million a year.
You say you're not
Exactly.
paying him that. He's had more success than Dak Prescott.
He's not getting $60 million a year.
Carey, I understand that. But he's had more success.
Cool. Walk.
Don't cool me on this one.
I'm just telling you. You asked me my opinion. I asked you earlier,
I'm
could
asking
Lawrence
for
stay healthy? And you said, hell no.
I
And
was
you're
honest.
asking me, and I'm being honest too.
But you're not giving me a reason.
Because I'm not paying you $60 million. Because
I didn't say that. But let's say he asks for $45 million.
I would probably do 45.
Okay.
I would do 40. I would give him, and that's what I was going to say, around the Daniel Jones contract, $40 to $45 million a year. Because the going number for a starting quarterback due for a contract extension is $60 million because that's what Dak just got. It was 55. It was 58 with Trevor. It's 60 with Dak. I'm not giving you. We're not even in the 50s.
But it's such an interesting thing, right? Because you've got somebody here on the text line that says that Brock Purdy should get more than Jordan Love, Tua, and Lawrence.
Not happening.
But he's been way better than those 30 guys.
He's also
got
played for a
more
better team.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you have to factor that in.
He's got way more.
Not you, Jamie, but the text, because I'm seeing some people in the snake pit too saying, hey, Brock Purdy's been better than Dak Prescott. Yes, he's played for a better team too, though. So, Jamie, to your overall point, though, here's the biggest point. Does anybody really know?
I don't know.
Because what is the market for Brock Purdy? I do think to some degree he fits best in Kyle Shanahan's system. If he goes elsewhere, like take Trevor Lawrence out of Jacksonville, you put Brock Purdy in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
How much are things different?
Very.
Yeah, but if you take Matthew Stafford.
Very different.
You think they're very different?
For Brock Purdy, he's not going to have as much success.
Okay, all right.
But let's go.
See, yeah, that we're on the same.
Let's go a different direction. Let's say Matthew Stafford plays one more year next year, then retires.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy that market for Brock Purdy is pretty good if he goes to the LA Rams, because Sean McVay is very similar.
Yeah.
But I still think it's the 40 to 45 to 48 range. I don't think it gets above 50. Like Kyler Murray is making $46 million a year, right?
He signed that deal way before these other guys did.
He signed his in 2022.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm not giving you Lamar Jackson is making $52 million.
Carey, I'm not fighting you on this.
I'm not.
I'm just saying I don't even know where to set the market.
I wouldn't be mad
I think the 49ers need to say, hey, this was my point bringing up Dak and Daniel Jones. At some point, a team has to say,
you got to reset it.
We're gonna draw the line here. We love you, man. We do. In this is we just paid Ayuk. We just paid whoever, Samuel and Kittle. Like they all got their deals. Hey, pal, we love you. We love what you've done. here's the offer, and if he tells you to pound sand, then you got to start.
You
over.
walk at that point because here's the deal. I think an intelligent agent for Brock Purdy sits down with Lynch in San Francisco, and Lynch just says, "Hey, listen, man, he was Mr. Irrelevant. He was. Now he's come in here with our coaching staff and with his dedication and played very well.
Yeah.
Let's not be fooled, though. He's not an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that people are clawing at the door to get him right now. If I put him on the market tomorrow via trade, I bet not many people are giving me a whole lot for him.
Right.
So therefore, let's just be nice to each other. I'll pay him 35 to 40 million a year. We'll give him a 5-year deal at, let's say, 40 million. That's way more money than Brock Purdy ever thought existed for him.
No question.
Yes.
So we got a deal here,
Yeah.
and the agent should be smart and go, I never thought I'd get a penny out of my client Brock Purdy,
Right.
because I thought he'd never really play in the NFL.
When he called me, I said, "Who this?"
Who this? But anyway, I know I derailed that whole conversation
No,
about the
I think
49ers.
that is the conversation, quite frankly,
I
because the
just-
Niners are done.
I'm just so fascinated with what will happen with that.
If he's smart, he's not taking 40 million, 45 million. He's going to say, okay, franchise me. I'll get the 10% of what the highest
And then
paid
we'll go back to
contracts are, and then we'll figure it out again next year.
Yep.
If I play well,
See,
and
I
if
don't
you
know,
want to
man.
franchise me again, it's like the top 5%. So you could make over 100 million in 2 years, and then become a free. The old Kirky Cousins route.
Yeah, I don't know. The way I look at it,
but hold on here. That's a different situation, Carey.
Kirk has made a lot of money, is
He
what I'm saying,
has.
because
No,
he
but-
went that route.
No, you know why he got that money. I've been telling you for years.
Well, I don't know that he has pictures of people. Anthony.
I do. It's clear.
You
see the way he plays?
Polaroids.
Have you seen? Yes.
I don't know that he has pictures of people.
Carey.
Who was the owner at that time?
Thank you.
Oh, Danny Schneider.
I'm sure there's pictures.
Kirk's a smart guy. Not great. Not a great quarterback.
He got a hold
but
of
he's a
Danny
smart guy.
Schneider's phone. Went through the photos and found pictures of Schneider.
Everybody.
Arthur Blank.
Yeah. There's, was it Wilf in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Got them all.
Ziggy. Hey, Kirk's like, there was one hell of a party.
Oh, boy. We're not paying you that, Kirk. Really?
Oh, yes, you
really?
are.
I got it. I got it right here. All right. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Hot take, hot garbage. We'll play that next. 314-399-9646. That's your Comfort Service text line. Again, if you got a hot take or hot garbage statement that you want to send in, we'll play that game next.
All right, if you are into sports betting, then you absolutely have to download Circus Sports Illinois. You can go to their website and download it, or you can go to the App Store. It's available all over the place. But it really is the best app out there on the market. And if you guys know anything about Circus Sports and how it all started, well, Derek Stevens, who's a great friend of mine, met him in Detroit when I was playing for the Red Wings. He had a vision way back then. I thought he was crazy, a little bit. He said, I want to create the world's biggest sports book in Las Vegas, Nevada. We were in Detroit. I was like, well, how's he going to do this? Well, he did it. Circus Sports in Las Vegas has unbelievable sports book in their casino, and now it's in the palm of your hand, and it's that old school Vegas model. There's tight money lines. You got great odds, better odds than any other app out there. You can double check it. Check them all out. They have the best odds out there for your money. There's no promos either. The promos in the price and the payout for Circus Sports. There's no betting limits either, which is nice. You can have a lot of fun with that. And they, of course, they have exceptional customer service where you get to talk to somebody real, not a machine or some kind of bot in there. So please don't miss out on the action. Download and bet like a pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lose to the Sharks last night by a final score of 4-3. They will take on the Dallas Stars tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6 o'clock. Puck drop is at 7. Before the Blues take on the Stars, we'll have the Army and Navy game for you, with the pregame starting at 1. Also last night, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the San Francisco 49ers 12-6, a real barn burner in Santa Clara last night. We just got done talking about Thursday Night Football. If you missed that or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Big news of the day, the Brewers ship Devin Williams to the Yankees while the Cubs acquire Kyle Tucker from the Astros. If you have a hot take you want to send us about that or anything, make sure you text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll do hot take or hot garbage next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hot take. That's right, time for hot take or hot garbage. This is when you can send in a statement, and we'll discuss whether or not we think it's a hot take or hot garbage. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. March, what do you got for us?
All right, this one's interesting. From the 214 hot take or hot garbage, we will see a work stoppage in Major League Baseball, the next contract, due to the high contracts within the game.
I'm going to go hot garbage on that just because I feel like the high-end players are making their money, so they're not going to complain. The owners are making money. So I don't think we're going to see a work stoppage.
Yeah, it's so screwed up. Like, I remember going through this process a number of times with the lockouts and all that stuff, and the only guys that matter are the top guys. As much as everybody likes to spit out that it's all of us, and we're here to take care of the little guy, and that's our biggest mission, take care of the lower end guys. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, because I don't remember my phone ringing when it was time to close the deal with the owners.
Well,
it was on.
Yeah, you didn't have it that day.
You're half the player as Nick Lindstrom.
Yeah, I would take that too.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so that, like you said, like even last stoppage or whatever the hell that was, you know, like what's his name? Scherzer. Like, I'm going in there. What happened? Like, the big guys get paid. Nothing really changed for the little guy.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Juan Soto got his money.
What you need to do is send in the, Alec Burlesons, the, third, fourth line players.
You do.
Have those guys go to the table.
Yeah.
Because that's really the guys that need to be taken care of with a better deal.
They're the ones that...
But they don't get picked.
There you go.
Right.
They don't get picked. Why?
Yep.
Because the big stars don't want that little guy ruining everything for them.
Yeah. I always thought that, like, the guys that are making the veteran minimum or the guys that are in their second or third year, it's vastly different.
Oh, it's big difference.
When you are making, $20, $30, $40, $50 million a year versus when you're making $800,000 a year.
If
still good money, don't get me wrong, but it ain't that.
At least you have to pay for dinners, right?
Yeah, sometimes you still do. When you go out with your own family.
Or your friends. All of a sudden, everybody forgot their wallet. Oh, I'm so sorry. This never happens. It's happened 4 times this month.
Well, stop picking up the phone when you call. Marsh, now, how do you feel about Jamie kind of referring to Alec Burleson as a third or fourth line guy?
Oh, because he's a
star.
Oh, come on. Right? I said St. Louis Star.
But you fought pretty hard that day.
You got really mad.
I did.
You remember that?
You were upset. He didn't talk to me for a week.
Marshy was so upset. He's like, when you get so upset, you almost cry?
Yeah.
That was close.
He's angered.
Would you consider Jake Neighbors to be a St. Louis Star?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, exactly. And Alec Burleson is not yet a St. Louis Star.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Jake Neighbors and Alec Burleson both project to be the same caliber player by the time their career's over?
I could see that. I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges, but two different sports.
I think Jake Neighbors would be projected to be a little bit higher.
Jake Neighbors will one day wear an A or a C on his jersey.
I think you guys are underestimating what Alec Burleson can bring to the table.
No, I think I know exactly what he is, and I'm happy.
To the plate.
I'm happy with what he is. Why you just want more from him that may be unrealistic, I don't know why you're doing that to him.
I'm just saying. We got a youth movement coming up. He's going to be one of the faces. There's a reason why it was him hanging out with Randy Orton and not anybody else. He's a big deal.
When were they hanging out?
A WWE night.
Now, how did that help him play better baseball?
I'm just saying.
He did.
I think his point is that he's got more star power now.
Yeah. Marsh, just...
No, I didn't see it.
Let you in on a couple things. I hung out with Gene Simmons one night from Kiss. That didn't help my career.
I think you're doing pretty good right now, Jamie.
My social life was fine.
But I think it's an all-encompassing thing.
Yeah.
It all goes.
You guys don't want him to succeed.
No, we're just trying to set realistic expectations. Like, you're just going to end up being disappointed. I don't want that for you.
I don't want that either.
I guess I'll
not our sweet Marshy.
Right.
Out of all of us, like you, Jamie, I know you experience the highs and lows of life. I ain't worried about you. Carey, same deal, brother.
Yeah.
You know I have as well. But Marsh, he's sweet
still
and innocent.
pure.
He's pure.
Still.
Yeah. I don't want him to experience any sort of
time
down.
to go through what you did.
Sometimes, though, the best teacher is to go through those lessons.
It's not likely to happen, but
never know.
Well, you've seen the three of us, so
that's true.
You know what not to do.
You know, they do say you start to turn into the people that you hang out with.
Boy, I hope that's not true for you.
I'm around you guys all the time.
We're already gone. There's nothing you can do for the three of us. But
maybe I can help you.
How much time do you have?
Sprinkle a little innocence on you.
Whoa, hey.
The damage is done.
I'm not into that.
All right. Let's continue before I get upset about this Alec Burleson thing.
Yeah, good call.
Sprinkle something on Carey, though.
I'm good.
We'll work on you. From Grant Francis Fan Club, hot take or hot garbage. Last night's game tells us very little about the Blues, but how they respond tomorrow tells us a lot.
I would disagree with Grant Francis Fan Club. I think that last night told us a story. The story was that the Blues realized that they were not playing their game, and the team believed they were going to win that game. That third period was great. They played hard. They played strong. They made plays. They missed tying it by an inch. So the Blues team that I remember that people didn't like for a while was a team that everybody felt gave up. No, they just mailed it in. Like, remember that one game last year against the Sharks?
Which one?
The one here that...
On Anthony's birthday.
Yep.
Towards the end of the year, yeah.
And,
March 30th.
And the Blues kind of looked like they gave up. I'm not seeing that team right now.
I agree.
I'm just not. So I think last night's game was actually a really good indicator for Jim Montgomery as to what he has in that locker room, because nobody on that bench gave up. They just didn't. They didn't play well to start the game, but they didn't give up. And I think that counts for a lot.
From the 314 hot take or hot garbage, the Bills defense will keep them from winning a Super Bowl.
I don't feel the same way about their defense that I do like the Ravens. I think the Ravens have bigger issues, especially in their secondary, than maybe Buffalo does. Let me ask you this: who truly has an elite defense this season?
Pittsburgh,
besides Pittsburgh, like Denver's been really good.
Yeah,
Philadelphia has really come about.
Some good players.
Detroit has played over its skis based on the injuries. Seattle, every once in a while, plays good defense, but like defense.
Top running defense, I believe. That's because I don't think teams run the ball enough.
No, they don't. Atlanta just...
Hour 45.
Are we running the ball straight down Minnesota's throat? Let's mix it up. Let's give them the ball. Let's see what happens. No, but I don't think Buffalo... Look, Buffalo's defense isn't great, but I don't think that they're as bad.
I agree with that. I don't think they're as bad. I don't think that's going to be the reason. It's probably they just run into a team that they surprised me. I didn't think that they would show up in the way that they have.
As you'll see.
And special things, you block a punt. I think that I wish I could find the stat. It's like a 90%. But, yeah, so I think it'll just end up being about the matchup for the Bills. If they run into a bad matchup, that'll probably be the thing. But they are the Bills, so I think they'll find a way.
All right, last one here from the 501. Hot take or hot garbage? Jamie Rivers would fight 6 dudes in a restaurant.
No, hot take.
That's been pretty close.
6 Irish guys.
Yeah. The old Paul Bissonnette thing. I tell you what, I've actually gone over that in my head and talked to people about it. Somebody asked me, like, oh, would you have done that? And I'm like, well, yeah. Like, if I saw a bunch of dudes roughing up smaller people in a family restaurant, yeah, I'm going to go say something. Now, I'm going to go in aggressively and try to poke the bear. No, I'm going to go in, at first I'm going in like the politician. Hey, guys, come on, look around you. Look at all the little kids. What are we doing here? What, you want one more drink? Go next door. Like, come on. Yeah. No sense pushing this guy around. He's popped the first one right in the face.
Yeah, you don't even tell him. You don't even count it down.
No, you don't let him go outside. Why? Give him a warning shot. There's 6 guys. The first guy's getting it, and he ain't getting back up. Who's next? And you might get the best of me, but that first guy, he's going to remember that night for a long time. So I would say that I would certainly intervene and go from there. Carey?
No, I agree. Yeah, I do have an issue with people picking on people that don't defend themselves or can't defend themselves. Like it grinds my gears.
Absolutely.
Like you see somebody bullying somebody that you know they can't or won't respond. Like, bro, don't do that. Like it's a level of disrespect that I am very uncomfortable with. So if I saw that, I would probably be in the same mindset. Like, hey. Let's not.
Like you give him a chance. Like, hey guys, like wake up here a little bit.
Do that. Yeah, right.
And if it doesn't work, then you dial it up a little bit.
Pick on somebody your own size.
Pretty much.
Anthony, you.
So there was a moment long time ago where I was like, me and my friends are coming out of a movie. This was like 15, 20 years ago.
No spark.
Actually, there was no. I was still living in Detroit, and I was coming out of a movie theater. And we hopped in the car. I'm coming around, and there was like 3 dudes beating up one.
Oh yeah.
And the girl, like, I kind of assessed all this quickly, but there was a girl screaming for help, whatever. I'm like, okay, put that thing in the park. And
what did she look like?
I can't remember.
Anthony,
I can't remember.
The damsel in distress?
No, I mean it was just a situation. It was just like you guys were talking about. It was her boyfriend. Wanted to be her boyfriend.
Was it still her boyfriend after?
I don't know. They didn't show up to court.
Oh!
So we hopped out. The 4 of us hopped out, and we went running, and we, like, dragged the two guys off. They took off.
Oh, yeah.
And then we stayed with them. Police showed up and wound up going to court. They didn't show up. The person, the couple,
victim.
Yeah.
He probably started it. He probably did something.
I missed a day of work and all that because I'm like, all right, here we go. We're gonna do this.
Carey, I feel like that guy probably did something.
Yeah.
Leave it to Anthony to help out.
He knew he was guilty, so he checked out. Yeah, but that was far from what you guys are describing. Taking on 6 people. All right. Did the loss last night not do any favors for the Blues when it comes to their schedule? Jamie was going over it. Completely going over the schedule, and I've lost all hope. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Price just went up on car insurance? Check us out at carltoninsurance.net.
Head over to Twin Peaks in Maplewood today. It's Friday night. What a great time to get over there for happy hour. And let's remember that nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. They've got just a great selection of bourbons over there, whether you like that on the rocks or neat, or maybe you like a cocktail that has bourbon. They've got you covered. They've also got all the vodkas, the flavored vodkas, Pink Whitney. Sometimes people like to have a little Pink Whitney. You know what I'm talking about, you hockey people. And the food is awesome. Really is. They've got daily specials that are going on over there. The flatbreads are sensational. I can tell you what, the quesadilla tacos are by far the best thing on the menu for me. I absolutely love them. They get a little dipping sauce and all that's great. And, of course, you can't forget about the OG, the 29-degree man-sized draft, the icy mug, ice-cold beer, washes down anything that you have from the menu. And the staff is just awesome. Of course, the scenery is great, but they're very helpful. They're very helpful with the menu, and they make sure you have a great time anytime you visit them over at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. South Florida's not what it used to be. That's a gauntlet now. You got to play the Lightning and you got to play the Panthers. That's your reward. Hey, we get to go to Florida. Yeah, there's sunny and some beaches. Yeah, but you got to play the Lightning and the Panthers.
Right.
The Lightning are going to pass the puck around at 100 miles an hour all over the place, and the Panthers are going to kick your teeth in. So that's your lineup. And then you finish off before Christmas with the Red Wings, which, I'm going to say this, it's a winnable game. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but it's a winnable game. But before that, you've got Dallas, Rangers, Devils, Tampa, Florida. Those are your 5 games.
Suddenly I'm depressed.
No, I'm just saying that...
That was tough. That was tough to hear.
At least we don't have to play the Sharks.
No, that's true. You did last night and you lost. And as Jamie noted, the Gauntlet, which comes up in 5 minutes now. You guys have been off clock today. Gauntlet at 4 o'clock.
Are we driving?
We did get a text from the 636. You guys are worse than TMA about keeping or getting to your breaks.
No, they're way
chance.
worse. They're way worse. We appreciate the text, but they're way worse.
It's when we're having a bad day on the clock, it's always nice to know that TMA is still around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Dallas, the Rangers, Devils, Tampa, Florida. That's your gauntlet coming up here if you're the Blues.
Yeah.
So last night certainly didn't do any favors for you. Now, Jamie, you were talking about this young team. They're learning here on the fly. They're getting that experience. They're coming together. They're developing, I would say an identity.
I think so.
But when you face top-tier teams like this, you're almost forced to grow up in a hurry, I would think. Do you feel as though that identity can be forged even quicker when you face better opponents?
Well, I think it has to be. It's just like anything else. We just talk about like us fighting like 6 guys or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But you get in a battle like that, you either get your ass kicked or you push back. Mm-hmm. And I think for this team right now, like their identity is going to be, they're going to be forced to play hard. They're going to be forced to play with structure, forced to have details. Because if you don't, you're going to get your butt kicked, man. Yeah. So I think it's a huge test for the Blues here. The 6 games before the holiday/Christmas break. What would you think would be an acceptable record
against those opponents?
All 6, including the Red Wings.
I mean, if you could go 3-3, regardless of who you beat, I think that would be. I mean, you're treading water, yes, but against this group, 3-3, I'd be very happy.
Carey, what do you think?
I would. I want to win more than
6-0.
Yeah. 5-1, Jamie. 5-0-1.
Wow. 5-0-1.
Yeah.
Marshy, what do you think?
Let's see here. I think Anthony might be honest. So I think 3-3 for me is what it needs to look like. But like bare minimum, I think you should split on this upcoming wave of games. But where they're at in the standings, if they want to be a true playoff contender, now is the time to start winning these games and proving to people around the league that you are one of the teams that we need to start considering as a playoff team.
So like maybe 4-2. I'm looking
or 4-2 or 3-2-1 or something.
That's
like you
I'm
need
at.
to get points. If you're going to lose, get points.
There you go.
I'm at 3-2-1. I think that if you go 3-3, you're satisfied. We got through this, right? We learned some things. We did some good things and some bad things. You go 3-2-1 where you get that one extra point for getting to overtime or a shootout. All of a sudden, that's 7 points.
About 4-1-1.
All right, so
I take that. Yeah, I'll take 6-0, Carey. Quite honestly, I mean, I will.
Yeah,
let's put this into perspective. All right,
we have perspective.
No, not at all. That's why people love this show and hate it. Stars, you're a plus 200 money line underdog. Yeah. Plus 200 is massive.
Oh, here goes
it
Anthony.
Is.
Always goes to the gambling.
Okay, but I'm going to put it in perspective there, Blues spinster. Rangers, the line isn't out, but when you played them at MSG, you were plus 184.
It'll be less than that this time. But
sure, but let's just say they're plus 160.
Let's say it's even money almost. I think it'll be.
You think it's even?
I think it'll be close to even money.
Rangers
beat the Rangers.
Their defense is not anything to write home about.
You think it'll be even against the Rangers?
Well, let's see here.
You already beat them.
Yeah, that doesn't mean much right now. The Rangers are 5th place in the Metropolitan. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games.
Blues going to be an underdog.
Okay.
And I think
at home?
Yeah.
See, I don't agree.
I think it's even money. But you know what, Anthony?
You can continue. Sorry, we didn't want to cut you off.
Oh, really?
Devils plus 193. That's where you were in New Jersey.
It'll be probably around the same thing.
Tampa, you were plus 146 earlier in the year. That was a home game.
Still will be the same.
Florida, we played Florida already, right?
No, we have not.
No, we have not. Okay. Point is, you're going to be an underdog
in almost every game except for one.
Exactly. So 4-1 would be phenomenal, or 4-2, or 5-1 would be phenomenal. 3-3, if you're a dog in all of them except for Detroit, I think that's pretty good. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
So I think you can win, in my opinion. You can beat the Rangers, the Devils, and the Lightning. You might take a loss to Florida, and then you finish. And tomorrow night game is kind of a toss up, in my opinion.
So you think tomorrow's a toss up?
Yeah, if you
in
can
Dallas,
this could be your overtime loss.
I know the coffee machine's not working.
Yeah,
What's he drinking?
Listen, I'm drinking my
He's
water.
got a bottle of red stuff over there. I don't know what the hell that is,
but you can win those 3 games. Maybe you take a loss in Florida to the Panthers, and then you win in Detroit. That's 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 overtime loss.
Who are your 4 wins?
The Rangers, the Devils, the Lightning, and the Red Wings. Those are my 4 wins.
I take it.
My 1 loss outright is to the Panthers. My overtime loss, which could potentially be a win, is to the Stars.
All right.
You go, Carey.
Yeah.
And you go, Jamie.
Yeah, you go.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Get out.
You got a plane to catch up.
They're not holding the plane for me. I can tell you that much.
Hey, have a great weekend there, Jamie.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll see you next week. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Our Gauntlet playoffs continue next.
players, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
4:06, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. We continue the Gauntlet playoffs with a fan favorite. It's Percy. What's up, Percy?
What's going on?
Not much. How you been?
Oh, I've been fine, just fine.
Well, good. We're glad to hear your voice again, Percy.
Okay.
What's would you like to choose your category or would you like to choose your opponent?
I like to choose my opponent.
All right. Who would you like to face?
Carey Davis.
All right. Carey Davis.
All right, Percy, good luck.
Okay, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Carey's going to make his way into the cone of silence right now. So, Percy, we're going to find out what category you get against Carey. So, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin the wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marsh.
All right, let's see what you get. You chose Carey. The wheel will choose your category, which will be Marsh.
Ooh, it's going to be football today.
All right, football. How you feel about that, Percy?
No, hey, whatever. Hey, it came up football. Let's go.
There you go. I like it. I like the attitude. All right, Percy, just as a reminder, you're going to get 4 questions, all football related. Thank you, Marsh. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, then those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, question 1. The New York Jets drafted Joe Namath 2nd overall in the 1965 AFL draft, but which team drafted him 12th overall in the 1965 NFL draft?
St. Louis Cardinals.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. Which NFL team had 113 wins in the 90s decade, more than any other team?
In the 90s decade?
That's correct.
I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Percy, question 3. Many will recall the field goal miss by the Bills at the end of Super Bowl 25 that sealed the victory for the Giants. Name the kicker that missed that infamous wide right field goal for the Bills.
Oh, I'm going to need the options on that one.
Scott Norwood, Steve Christie, Todd Shopley.
Steve Christie.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 4. Speaking of historic missed field goals, Cody Parkey's double doink in the 2018 NFC wildcard round resulted in which team beating the Bears 16-15?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think. Tony Parkey, and it was the championship game, you say?
It was the NFC wildcard round.
Oh, the wild card round. Oh. Give me the options. I know the team, but I can't call it off the top of my head.
So your options are the Philadelphia Eagles, the Los Angeles Rams, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
What year did you say it was again?
The year was 2018.
2018. It was, give me the teams again.
The teams were the Eagles, the Rams, or the Buccaneers?
It was Buccaneers.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence for a little football trivia. Percy, how you feeling?
I feel all right.
Okay. All right, Carey's making his way in. Taking a sweet-ass time, but he's making his way in.
Yeah.
Chews his food, takes a drink of water.
Got to get fueled up.
Fair enough.
For the gauntlet.
All right, Carey.
Hey.
As we know, Percy selected you.
He did.
The wheel selected football as the category. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Question 1. The New York Jets drafted Joe Namath 2nd overall in the 1965 AFL draft, but which team drafted him 12th overall in the 1965 NFL draft?
Oh, man. I have no clue. I was hoping you asked me what school he went to. Options.
Alabama. St. Louis Cardinals, Green Bay Packers, Baltimore Colts.
Let's go Colts. Final answer. That's just a guess.
Question number 2. Which NFL team had 113 wins in the 90s decade, more than any other team?
113 wins. So it's going to be a team that went to the playoffs a few times. 49ers went. The Cowboys went. The Broncos won 2 Super Bowls in the 90s. The Packers won Super Bowl in the 90s. But the Cowboys won 3, which means they probably had a really good stretch there. And they played in a bunch of AFC. So, can you repeat the question, sir?
Which NFL team had 113 wins in the 90s decade, more than any other team?
I feel like the logical answer is the Cowboys. Oh, tricky. The Buffalo Bills also had some pretty good dang on teams there as well. They went to 4 Super Bowls, Anthony. Didn't win any. I don't think I need the options because it ain't gonna help. Bills were a juggernaut there in the 90s. Let's go Buffalo Bills. Final answer.
All right, Carey. Many will recall the field goal miss by the Bills at the end of Super Bowl 25 that sealed the victory for the Giants. Name the kicker that missed the infamous wide right field goal.
Scott Norwood. Final answer.
Final question. Speaking of historic missed field goals, Cody Parkey's double doink in the 2018 NFC wildcard round resulted in which team beating the Bears 16-15?
What year?
2018.
I feel like it was the Eagles. I think it was the Eagles.
Wild card round.
Let's go Eagles. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Percy versus Carey. The New York Jets drafted Joe Namath 2nd overall in the 1965 AFL draft, but which team drafted him 12th overall in a 1965 NFL draft? Carey, with the options, you went with the Baltimore Colts. Percy, without the options, you said the St. Louis Cardinals. Correct answer is...
It is the St. Louis Cardinals.
Percy on the board, 2-0 over Carey. Which NFL team had 113 wins in the 90s decade, more than any other team? Carey went with the Buffalo Bills. Percy went with the San Francisco 49ers. Neither of you took the options. Correct answer is...
It's the San Francisco 49ers.
Percy 4-0 over Carey Davis. 4-0.
Come on.
Many will recall the field goal missed by the Bills at the end of Super Bowl 25 that sealed the victory for the Giants. Name the kicker that missed the infamous wide right field goal. Percy took the options. He went with Steve Christie. Carey did not take the options. He went with Scott Norwood. Correct answer is...
Unfortunately for him, it is Scott Norwood.
First 2 Super Bowls, Scott Norwood was their kicker. Last 2 Super Bowls that they lost, the kicker was Steve Christie. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
4-2 Percy. Comes down to this.
Come on.
Speaking of historic missed field goals, Cody Parkey's quote-unquote double doink in the 2018 wild card resulted in which team beating the Bears 16-15. With the options, Percy said the Tampa Bay Bucks. Without the options, Carey said the Philadelphia Eagles. If it's the Eagles, we're heading to a walk-off because Carey did not need the options, and this will go down as a pretty historic comeback for Carey, who trailed 4-0. If it's the Bucks or any other NFC team, Percy advances. Percy.
Walk it off.
It is the Philadelphia Eagles. We're all tied up 4-4.
That 49ers one is going to bother me.
And it's time for a walk-off. Here's what's going to happen. Percy, you're going to hold off on your answer. All right? So don't give us your answer. We got to get Carey's answer first. He's going to write his down. He's going to show us. And neither Marsha or I are going to shout out the answer afterwards. Then we're going to go to you, Percy. All right?
Okay.
All right, closest to the pin wins. Closest to the pin wins. Here we go. In his Ravens career, how many field goals has Justin Tucker made? In his Ravens career, how many field goals has Justin Tucker made? Carey's writing down his answer.
Oh, that feels high. Oh, come on.
Percy, you're holding off.
All right.
Okay, we have Carey's answer. What's yours, Percy?
How many field goals has Justin Tucker made in his career?
That's correct. What's your answer, Percy?
200.
All right. Carey, you wrote down?
267.
Now I'm interested. You said you thought that was too high.
I did.
So what would you have wrote down? Had you changed your mind?
I would have went a little bit lower. I probably would have went like 230.
Okay.
Yeah.
Percy, we just heard him say 200. In his Ravens career, how many field goals has Justin Tucker made? Percy.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
414.
Oh, wow.
Justin Tucker has made 414 field goals. Carey was closest to the pin with 267. Percy, I'm sorry, man. Your reign of terror here in the Gauntlet is now complete. But a great game nonetheless.
Okay.
Good job, Percy.
Thanks, Percy. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yes.
So I tried to do some quick math on that. I'm like, okay, 30 field goals times 10 is 300. I'm like, well, first of all, I don't know if he's at 10 years, which I didn't think he was. But then I was like, that's why I said that's too high. So I'm like, okay, like 25 a year.
Right.
Ish. And a little bit more, something like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 414.
How many years has he played? Jeez Louise.
That dude's been remarkable.
Well, he was on...
until now.
I believe he was on that team with Colt McCoy in Texas, right?
Was he on that team?
He might have been.
He's been in the league for a while.
I guess so.
Oof.
Feels like he's been dazzling us for just a short period of time, and now his career is almost over.
Oh, he's 12 years in the league. So I was, yeah. If I'd have known it was 12, because I thought it was, I don't know why I thought, I'm thinking like 8 years in the league.
Carey, I'm not going to
13
ever,
years, actually.
ever criticize you for an answer in the Gauntlet tiebreaker.
Unless the answer is already given or in the Gauntlet.
You're off by a few thousand million years, or games played in the NHL. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Nice job here, Carey. Congratulations. So we have eliminated 2.
Carey Davis. Eric Davis.
Gotta love Eric Davis.
So we have eliminated 2 of the new Gauntlet champions. How many are left?
We have 2 left.
2 left.
We have 2. We have, obviously, we have Nathan, who was our most recent winner, and he actually stopped by today to take a picture with us. And then we also have Jared.
He went to Jared. And then we've got the guy that won the other day.
And that was Tony.
Tony.
So, I mean, if no one wins, Tony's our winner.
And all he would have needed is 1 dub. And that's it. All right. Fast on 101 ESPN. Can the Cardinals move Steven Matz? We'll get into that next.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you own a business that needs recycling, then my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metals are the people for you. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. Job site cleanup for contractors is often a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it'll be one less thing you have to do during cleanup. But you don't have to own a business. If you got some things, maybe you had a yard sale, a garage sale, you got some things that didn't sell and you want to get rid of, you can recycle them. You can also go to Scrap Mart as well. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals can add up if you have a business and help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, you have heating and cooling, you're an excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals Recycling can make your job easier. If you own that heavy equipment, it breaks down time and time again. It's frustrating. You have to repair it over and over again. At some point, it's going to come time to end your suffering. Scrap Mart will come get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their convenient locations, or if you want to haul it yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, or Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. Just go to scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account to get you rolling. Again, that's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
Fastlane on 101 ESPN. John Denton from his article on Wednesday. John Denton, of course, covers the Cardinals for MLB.com. He says, with plenty of high-end closers on the market, there's a strong chance the Cardinals could start the season with a rostered Ryan Helsley, who recorded a franchise record 49 saves and 53 opportunities last season. Matz, who can start or relieve, is the most likely pitcher to be moved. Michaelis, who is owed $17 million, will likely be back. If you were to choose one of those guys, who would you choose?
To be back?
Yeah.
Steven Matz.
Same.
Because he's
the versatility.
Yep, he can be a starter in a pinch. He can go to the bullpen, be long relief. He can do a multitude of things. And you know, inevitably, somebody's going to get hurt in that starting rotation. If he doesn't begin the season there, you can plug him in and he can take care of it. If those guys are performing well, he can, and he's shown the ability and the willingness to do it. It's not, from what I've seen, I haven't heard any, bickering or complaining when his time to go to the bullpen. He shows up to work, does his job, doesn't complain, just, happy to be a Cardinal, happy to help the team in whatever way possible. So for me, it would be him, because I know the versatility that he has to be able to do both.
The frustrating thing with Steven Matz is that when he has pitched, he's actually pitched fairly he's been fine, honestly. But he hasn't been available. So What's the best ability?
Availability.
Yeah, and that hasn't been Steven Matz. Michaelis, the unfortunate part with Miles Michaelis is that he has stayed healthy over the last 2 years. He has not been effective. And at $17 million, it's tough to move on from the contract. Actually, I'm sorry. You can move on from the contract. It's tough to move the contract. Yeah. But yes, you'd have to eat it. And I just don't know if the Cardinals are willing to do that.
Yeah, I think I just think that Steven Matz has I don't know. Like, we've talked about the injuries, the injury bug that certain players have had, and I know as one of the things that I've talked about. Like, are you okay over there?
I just had fiddling. I just had to adjust.
Yeah,
mic.
You were fiddling.
Well, I kept trying to, it was like dead on. I was trying to not eat the mic, so I just moved it that way. Okay.
Right.
Jeez, Carey. You were saying?
I don't know. I get so disturbed. A little ADD. Like, oh, what's going on?
What is he doing? What's going on?
No, I think Steven Matz, again, he has done a great job of just being where he is. Whatever that role is, whatever is needed or required, he shows up every day and does his job. But the injuries have been the main issue for him. If he can stay healthy, can he stay healthy? Can they find a way? And that was one of the concerns that I've had, for the last couple of years. Like, when guys are continuously injured and they're injuring the same thing, well, you got to figure out how to keep people healthy. Mm-hmm. It is vital. It is the training room. It is the weight room, the strength and conditioning, like putting an emphasis on those things to prepare your body to play 162 games if need be. Knowing you're not going to play. Obviously, a pitcher isn't, but position players, like knowing that you're preparing your body for that. For Steven Matz, 30-plus starts if you're a starter or whatever your role is. So, for me, it would be him. I hope he's able to stay healthy and show that he has a role here, because he can be a good piece for this team. Because when he does play, you said it, he plays really well.
Mm-hmm. This offseason is setting up to be kind of fascinating, especially if the Cardinals don't wind up moving guys. Would you feel disappointed if they wound up hanging on to some of these guys?
Not really. I mean, I wouldn't, because right now the main pieces, like for me, the main problems that you had were with the position players. Yeah. Like, how do you alleviate having 3 catchers on the roster? How do you move on from Paul Goldschmidt, and who's going to fill that void? Are you moving on from Nolan Arenado and going to put Nolan Gorman in that spot, or Brendan Donovan, whomever? Like, how do you do that? For me, that was the main thing. I wasn't going into this offseason expecting the Cardinals to be big-time movers and shakers in free agency. Like, we got to sign, like a couple of years ago when Yachty was done, we got to get a catcher. Okay, Wilson Contreras. That was the big splash. Last year, Sonny Gray, big splash. And you had other smaller parts in Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn to kind of fill out that role. But I'm looking at it now saying the roster that you have, the players that you have coming up, you got to know who they are.
Right.
You have to, and the only way you can know who a player is to allow them to play.
See, I would be disappointed with the starting rotation
going into the season.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Now, see, I understand Denton's point here, because at $17 million, Miles Michaelis does not attract other teams like Steven Matz might. Mm-hmm. Because Steven Matz, as we've discussed, 1, he's cheaper. 2, if he does stay healthy, you might get a decent number 4 if you're a team that needs pitching. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily a contender, but a team that wants to fill out its staff and is rolling dice with Steven Matz. The other thing with Steven Matz is you could, if he does have a decent season, you could flip him at the deadline. That's how I would view it if I'm an opposing team. Mm-hmm. If I call the Cardinals and say, hey, what do you want for Steven Matz? You want him off the books, fine. He's obviously been injury prone. You're not going to get much for him. But if I'm an opposing team, I put him in the starting rotation. If I can get a decent couple of months out of him and I'm not a contender, I could flip him at the deadline and recoup at the very least what I lost in the trade, if not double what I get.
Right.
So going back to what I said, though, if Matz is moved and the starting rotation, at least the top 4, is Gray, Fetty, Michaelis, Palante, and then one of those young guys, if you only free up 1 spot in the rotation for a young guy, to me, that's a huge disappointment. Because now you got to watch. You know what Gray is. You know what Fetty is. Palante earned a role last year. You know what Michaelis is. That would be highly disappointing to me.
So my starting rotation doesn't have Matz or Michaelis in it.
So what are you going to do with Michaelis, though?
We got to figure it out.
Like I would waive him, but that's us.
Are you willing to pitch from the bullpen? No? Okay.
I don't even know if I want him in my bullpen.
If I'm uncomfortable paying someone to sit on the couch and I have to have you on this roster because I'm paying you, then you can go to the bullpen. Because the other option is either I let you go and I keep paying you while you're go play for another team, whatever. Because I don't think there's a trade value there for him based on what we saw last year.
Correct.
I don't think that there's even a salary dump type of situation. I don't think that that's there for Miles Michaelis. So for me, my starting rotation, it's going to look like Gray, Fetty, Palante, and then I'm going to give one of them younger guys those younger guys have to figure out those final two spots. If they are unable to, I still got Matz there to fill in one of those spots. So now I take off. I got Gray, Fetty, Palante, Matz, and either McGreevy or Graceffo or Matthews or Tink. I don't know. I don't know what those four younger pitchers look like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have two rookies in that lineup. Because why not?
Sasaki. Yes. We're getting them.
They probably.
He would be a rookie. Marsh is correct.
Okay. Well, how much does it cost?
Not much.
Doesn't sound like it's going to cost that much.
It's not because he's too young.
And that's why I wonder if
the posting fee and all that. He's not going to get. He's going to get like a minor league contract. He'll be in the big leagues, but he's going to get a minor league contract. That's because of the posting rules and all that. This is not a Yamamoto situation.
And if you can get rid of Matz, it's 12.5 right there. And give that to him.
Can you get rid of him?
See, to me, again, if I'm an opposing team, he's got more appeal than Michaelis.
More versatility.
I think he's a better pitcher when healthy. The problem is he's never healthy.
Matz has more upside than Michaelis.
I think so at this point.
I agree.
Yeah. Splashback Deuce brings up just an outstanding point from the Snake Pit. He goes, Michaelis went from fun-loving, happy dude to old crab ass in no time, probably the same day that Anthony started naming his boat. He's right. You weren't here with him?
I wasn't here.
Yeah.
What happened?
We had him on.
Whose boat did you name?
His boat.
What is his name? What is the name of his boat?
Do you remember, Marsh?
No, I wasn't here when you did that.
Did you give it a name?
Yeah.
He didn't like the name?
He didn't.
You gave him a nickname too, didn't you?
That was Jamie. I think that's when things started to switch.
You called him Moose.
That was when things went downhill.
And Michael's like, nah, I don't like it. I said, why don't you name your boat You Hate Me Because You Ain't Me. And he rejected
didn't like that
it.
Either?
Yeah, he rejected it right away.
See, I don't know. Miles Michaelis seems like a pretty easygoing guy. We've had him on when I was on the opening drive, and he was playing golf and having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you caught him later in the day and he just didn't want to change the name of his boat.
Maybe he hates us because he didn't hate us.
There you go. That's a good call, Marsh.
Maybe.
No, he didn't have a name for the boat. I didn't tell him to change it.
Maybe he didn't. Well, you gave him a name that he clearly didn't like. And then
he shut it down, and he shut down
gave
Jamie.
him a nickname that he's like, Moose. But here's the thing about nicknames. You're not supposed to like your nickname. It's given to you. You're not. Most people don't like the nicknames that are given to them. Like, my nickname was Fats. You think I want to be called Fats?
That's just cruel.
Yeah, but that was my nickname.
Yeah.
And then everybody started calling me that. And then after a while, you just start answering. You're like, hey, okay. And then you embrace it. You're like, yeah.
I've started to embrace as a whole. Anthony keeps calling me that.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yep. As a whole, Marsh.
Thanks.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I don't know where we're going with that. But either way.
No, we're going here. Guy's career went down the toilet when he rejected 2 of the 4 Fast Lane members. Sports Six Pack is next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. If you got any questions, send them in. Sports Six Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues lost to the San Jose Sharks last night. 4-3 the final. They'll take on the Dallas Stars tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Big news of the day, the Brewers ship Devin Williams to the Yankees while the Cubs acquire Kyle Tucker from the Astros. If you have a question about that, or if you have a question about anything sports-related or non-sports related, send us a text to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, time for the Sports Six-Pack here on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter, 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line. Marsh, question 1, please.
Question number 1.
From, well, you guess. Odd question, but one I'm very curious about. Where were you at 12:30 p.m. today? Please say the podcast room. Guess who that's from?
Waterboy.
Yep.
So I looked at the clock as I was getting into the shower at noon. I thought, I'm not going to make it.
Funny thing, I looked at the clock at noon. I was like, he didn't text me.
No Gridiron guys for week 15.
Waterboy, you are going to get this at some point. I feel like, this is done in a healthy way, right? This is just nudging us in the right direction.
He's totally trying to provide some motivation for us.
And when we do it, you will get credit.
Yes.
You will get credit. The Gridiron guys, brought to you by whomever and the Waterboy. Because you are clearly.
Yeah. If the thing was sponsored.
No, Waterboy, if you want.
The Waterboy wants to sponsor it.
We would do it tomorrow on Saturday.
Yes, we would. Sorry, kids. Daddy's got to work. Daddy's got a Gridiron podcast. What's that? Don't worry about it. Waterboy, just keep doing your thing.
Yeah. We will too.
And we will too.
Question number 2.
From the 314, how does Clark Griswold keep his hood up while he's flying down the hill on the saucer?
That's a really good point because he's flying. He's flying down that hill because he put so much spray on it. You've seen that movie, right?
I don't recall. Nope.
You don't recall that scene, or you don't recall seeing the movie?
I've seen the movie, I'm sure. I don't know.
Christmas Vacation? You haven't watched it 900 times?
No, I haven't watched it 900 times. Maybe one time in ever.
What?
Yeah. Sorry. Now, A Christmas Story, hundreds. Easy.
Well, that's because it runs 24 hours every Christmas.
On TNT. It's because it's a great movie.
So is Christmas Vacation.
Is it?
Don't you dare. Not on a Friday. Not when we failed to record a Gridiron Guys podcast.
I simply ask, is it?
Yes.
I don't know it.
Question number 3.
We got to move on. There's nothing left.
There's nothing to say.
Nothing to say.
That's how I felt when you didn't know J. Cole.
No. I'll give you when
I mean, J. Cole's up there.
When I said something about
J. Cole's up there.
I'll give you that when I said something about Beyonce, but not
Oh, yeah,
J.
that
Cole.
was bad. Yeah, that was.
Now I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Yeah, your Beyonce take was hurtful, actually. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does have kind of a point.
Thank you. She
Marshy,
just repeats the same lyric.
I'm somewhere in the middle.
Every song just repeats the same damn line. If you don't like it, put a ring on it. If you don't like it, put a ring on it. If you don't like it, put it. Like, we get it.
I mean, that's one song.
That is one
Name
song.
another song. Same deal. Same lyric. Over and over and over again.
It's part of the chorus.
Okay, then let's get at least somewhat more creative.
All right.
It's terrible.
Well, speaking of terrible, from the 636, for $1 million, would you hang out with your least favorite person at your least favorite thing for a full 24 hours? Here is an example. Anthony Stalter hanging out with Aaron Rodgers at a Dave Matthews Band festival.
Oh, man.
For $1 million.
I mean, yes, of course. It's $1 million. But at first I'm like, well, okay, how bad could it be? And then you gave the example. That's bad. That'd be real bad. But yes, of course. It's $1 million. It's $1 million.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
What would yours be, Carey? Because that's definitely Anthony's.
What?
Yeah. They nailed
spot
it.
on.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have people that I don't really like. Maybe a few actually. A few. I just literally clicked in my brain.
About people all the time that you want to dismember.
It's one. It's a specific coach. Sitting there with him. I don't know, watching National Lampoon.
No, don't you dare. All right, let's take a break. You're gonna fix your attitude, and then we're gonna answer the next three Sports Six-Pack questions here on 101 ESPN. How cool would it be to record a loved one for an hour-long interview done by, a host here on 101 ESPN, whether it's myself or Jamie Rivers or Tim McKernan? Sound Stories, an hour-long interview for your mom, your dad, or a loved one in which they tell their life stories, making sure that you and your children will have these memories saved forever. Think about a better gift than that right now. It's something that you can replay over and over again. And now for the 2024 holiday season, Sound Story is offering the option of a video interview to make sure both the stories and the images are preserved. So you think, years down the road, if your loved one has passed on, yet you get to relive their life story, relive certain stories and memories that you had with them growing up. You can relive that year after year. If you want to try Sound Story, go to mysoundstory.com. When you use the promo code ESPN, you're going to get a special of 10% off as a holiday gift card for Sound Story. Again, that's promo code ESPN at mysoundstory.com. Check it out. Holidays are here. Perfect gift idea. It's called Sound Story. Check it out.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
All right, let's continue the Sports Six Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Marsh, go.
Question number 4.
All right, this one comes from the 314 CD. Which facilities blew you away as a visiting player, both good and bad?
I always say this, the Denver Broncos visiting team locker room was the best locker room in ever. Like, it was, I mean, so normally when you go places, you got 2 guys to a locker. Like, one guy gets dressed, you find something else to do. You come back so you can get dressed, he finds something else to do.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Visiting locker room?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No kidding. I never knew that.
It's no room. Like, no room to think normally. But the Denver Broncos had, like, it was huge. Like, you had your own locker. You could walk around. Like, it was like a home team locker room. So that to me was always cool. Just seeing that locker room was nice.
You find something.
You find something else. When I was in Tampa, the home team locker room was like a visiting locker room. It was that small.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same. Like, yeah. So there are some places that there's no space. Like, you literally, your stuff is hanging up on this side of the locker. Their stuff is hanging up on this side of the locker. Your shoes are right next to each other. You're like, hey, go ahead, man. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes, whatever. You find something to do because there's no way we can both get dressed in this space.
Yeah.
It's not enough room. One of the weirder locker rooms, I know people have heard about it, the University of Iowa has a pink locker room. And you tell yourself it doesn't matter, but then you find yourself wondering, well, why in the hell is it pink? And what is it doing? It's like supposed to have a calming effect. But I don't know if it calmed me. It's just more than, I'm like, I'm not even going to worry about it. And I'm staring at it like, why is it pink?
That's why they do it.
Yeah.
It's all pink?
Yeah, the walls are pink.
Lockers
not
pink.
hot pink, like a dull, barely pink, but not white. Like, it's just, it's just like it hadn't been painted in 40 years.
Wow.
But it was, so that was a weird one. But the Denver Broncos do it right. It always made me wonder what the home team locker room looked like and what the facilities look like, because if you do this for the visitors, I couldn't imagine. Like, Baltimore's locker room was like one, it might have been like 20 lockers in there. I think the coaches had like they didn't have their own say. Yeah, some of them are just, you gotta go outside to get your thoughts together.
That's like really Wrigley Field for the longest time. That was a coat closet. It's like our office now. There's just the visitor.
No room.
It's just the visitor's locker.
Yeah.
Did you have to have help getting the shoulder pads on too?
I was okay usually getting mine on. Getting them off is the hard part.
Is it?
Like you'll get stuck.
Yeah.
In there where your head is missing and your arms are just like you sometimes do need somebody, especially if you're sore, like your shoulders don't. Like, get me out of this, please.
Right.
Help me.
It's not like high school where you could.
No.
You could just take them on and off, no problem.
The shoulder pads are tight. The jerseys are extremely snug. You don't want people grabbing and pulling on you. So.
Aren't the jerseys already like on top of the shoulder pads though?
For the most part, yeah. But you gotta
not 90s high school. You remember those things?
Yeah.
You might as well be wearing a bed sheet.
Huge,
massive.
We went in high school. We went and got like elastic in the arms to bring them down tighter and around the.
Oh yeah. We tried that too. Then you'd like the string would be hanging out. They're like, hey, you cut those jerseys? You have to pay for that, you know. Like, what jerseys? This is a comforter.
For 30 years, coach.
Question number 5.
From the 314, what is your opinion on eggnog? If you don't like it, what is your favorite holiday drink?
I can't tell you the last time I had eggnog, but I'm okay with it.
Are you?
Yeah. I didn't mind it when I had it. Little chilled eggnog.
I'm okay. It kind of.
It's good. Solid. But I can't tell you the last time I had it.
I don't know the last time I had it either. I'm okay on it to never have it again, though.
Okay.
Not a requirement for me.
My wife Kristen and I, for some reason during the holidays, we started to, not every night, but like weekend nights during the holidays, drink White Russians.
How's that?
Solid, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go down smooth.
Yeah.
You're
good for about 2 though. Any more than that, you're
on your backside, ready to go to bed.
Especially with kids, man, waking up. Yeah.
I don't know. I like. It's not really necessarily a holiday. It's more like a Thanksgiving. But pumpkin spice latte, man, they sign me up.
Yeah.
Is that why you're always at Starbucks?
Yeah. Haven't been in a while though.
CD loves the PSL.
I do. Pumpkin spice latte. Sign me up.
Personal seat license.
Those were awesome too.
Okay.
Not really.
Question number 6.
From the 618, how many home runs do you think Kyle Tucker is going to shell off the Redbirds pitching staff
30
this season?
Oh, come on.
30.
Sorry. Timeout. Is Michaelis still in the rotation?
No.
25.
Just off the Cardinals?
20.
I give him 6. No.
That's still
4. How many times they play the Cubs?
A bunch. Kyle Tucker can swing it. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Week 15 started last night in the NFL. Ish. Not a great game. But we'll dive into our NFL Week 15 primer, including which other teams outside of the 49ers basically face an elimination. That's next on 101 ESPN.
This is the Gridiron Guys Podcast with Anthony Stalter and Super Bowl champion Carey Davis.
Driven by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
Count that big pen.
That's right. Time for the Gridiron Guys podcast live here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. The Water Boy's been asking for it. Clamoring for it. When we tease the next segment, he goes, all right, the Gridiron Guys segment is coming up next. So Marsh dug out he dug out our theme music. I didn't even know we had theme music, to be honest.
Just the intro.
Yeah, just the intro.
Good.
Of course, it's been so long. And maybe I knew about it. I forgot about it.
It's only been 10 weeks.
It's only been 10 weeks.
What's wrong with you?
We're going to do 2 a week. How embarrassing. What's wrong with us?
I don't know.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know.
It's not like we do the 8 a.m. show or the 6 a.m. show. We do the 2 o'clock show.
Gives us so much time to do other things before we get to work.
Yeah, like podcasts. All right. Week 15 NFL primer. Last night, 49ers, their slim hopes. They had slim hopes going into last night's game. They're essentially, for all intents and purposes, eliminated. Mm-hmm. They're done. Rams have stayed in the mix. They're 8-6 now. They're still behind, I think, Washington and... I think it's Washington that's the one that's directly in front of them.
Yeah, but they are one game, behind the Seahawks right now for the division. So
there you go. So that's even more important. Yeah,
they could still potentially win their own division.
So when you guys are looking at these matchups this weekend, which team is essentially playing an elimination game to you?
I mean, well, your team is.
Yeah, on Monday night.
Yeah, your team is definitely, they lose.
Especially if the Bucs beat the Chargers and the Falcons lose to the Raiders on Monday night. One, they don't deserve to go to the playoffs right now.
Correct.
But I agree. It's essentially elimination game.
I think the Miami Dolphins are getting close to that conversation. If they lose at Houston, that's another one.
Oh, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think Dolphins at 6-7, Colts at 6-7. Those two teams have to win out.
Yeah.
So the Colts being in Denver, and Denver is the team directly ahead of both of those teams. They get a 2-game lead. If the Broncos want to beat the Colts, which they should, Colts are done. I think if the Texans knock off the Dolphins, that's done too. We could stop talking about both teams, and then your AFC playoff picture is essentially set.
It is, because I think the Bengals are so far out of it. There's not a chance for them to.
They've only got 5 wins
to run the table. Yeah, they're too far back. Even unless something crazy happens and they can win out and end up at 9-8, and you have some missteps from the teams in front of you, some huge missteps, meaning the Broncos and the Chargers just are unable to close the door.
Right.
The Bengals are essentially out. On the NFC side, we talked about the Falcons. I think the Arizona Cardinals are another team that.
You got to win out.
Yeah, they lose this weekend. Who are they playing? Who did they have them playing? The Patriots. You lose to the Patriots, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, close the door. Turn the lights off. Time to go home.
So those are the two teams in each conference. I agree. Yeah. Falcons at 6-7, especially if the Bucs lose, you're still only one game back. But if you're losing to the Raiders, then that puppy sailed anyways. Yeah. And like you said, same deal with the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. If you lose to the Patriots, you're done. Which team will we find out the most about in Week 15? So you're looking at these games, and you're looking at the matchups, and you say, you know what, this is the team I've got circled based on the matchup. What's the team we're going to find out the most about?
Buffalo.
In Detroit?
Going into Detroit. I will learn a lot about Buffalo because the losses that they have, they lost to the Rams last week, but they also lost to the Ravens earlier this year, and that Texans loss was a terrible loss. Mm-hmm. It was bad football. But if they're able to go into Detroit being the number 1 seed right now in the NFC, and win handily, that lets me know a little bit more about who they are. And then the other one, I think, is Pittsburgh. Like, they're going into Philadelphia. Same thing. Both AFC teams going into the NFC to match up against the 1 and 2 seeds right now in the NFC. Those two games are really big for those AFC, and they're right there with each other as well. The Steelers are I think, points behind, but they have the same record. So if either one of those teams can win, they start to separate and distance themselves and make themselves the clear number 2 seed.
Yeah.
With, the Chiefs, I don't know. I don't even know how they have this record. But at some point they're gonna the way that they play, I think that the Bills or the Steelers still have a real opportunity to get that number 1 seed, because I don't know who the Chiefs are, and the Steelers actually play the Chiefs on Christmas Day.
I think the Chiefs. So this is kind of how I feel now, based on where we have been. I remember when they beat the 49ers in that first Super Bowl, talking midseason about how the defense was going to cost them an opportunity to go to the playoffs, or win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and then they wind up winning because Spags figured some things out. Defense settled in, and they were much better in the second half, definitely in the playoffs. I say that to say this: none of this matters to me with the Chiefs. None of it counts until the playoffs, because they keep winning games.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've been impacted to win the division, already have that sewed up. It's not like they're a fringe playoff team and they just got to get in. They're already in.
Yep.
So none of this matters. Even if, like, last year was supposed to be the year that you're going to beat the Chiefs. They don't have any weapons. Travis Kelce's distracted. They have to go on the road to play in the AFC Championship game. That was the year, right? And they still won the damn thing. So none of this matters to me until the playoffs.
To me, I think
with Kansas City.
To me, because last year we were like, they dropped too many passes, they're not going to be able to be successful. They're not going to have a playoff run because of how they just couldn't catch the football. This year, it's both sides, though. Like, last year was mainly the defense was playing at an elite level last season. The year you're talking about, the year before that, the offense, or a few years before, the offense was playing at an elite level. That's when they had Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce was playing extremely well. Their first Super Bowl run. This one, they are like, offensive line. Jawan Taylor is offsides, starting early every single play
since week 1.
Since the beginning of the season, he's lined up off like.
Since last season.
Yeah, that's true, too.
He's the reason why the rule was created.
Right.
Why they started throwing so many flags. And he's like, I'm just going to keep doing it until you get tired of throwing the flag every play. Eventually, as you make it into the playoffs, you start playing better defenses. You start playing pass rushers. You start playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have elite pass rushers that can get to the quarterback and keep the quarterback in the pocket, not allowing Patrick Mahomes to scramble and do all of the things that allows him to extend plays. So I just think that for me, this Chiefs team is an intriguing one to watch, because I don't know week to week how they're going to win the game. And during the regular season, it's a little bit easier. When you get to the playoffs, you're playing much better teams with much more sound defenses. I think it changes just a little bit.
The other matchup here that we haven't really spent a lot of time talking about, because it's Buffalo. So Buffalo and Detroit, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. That's another key one. The Sunday night game is interesting too. So you've got Green Bay going to Seattle. I want to know more about Green Bay, because what I think of them right now is the clear third team in the NFC North.
Yeah.
But a team that has played in a stacked division and has done well. How does that compare to a team in like Seattle, who pretty good, but way weaker division, and is almost seemingly trying to figure itself out from week to week? If Green Bay goes to Seattle and the Seahawks win that game, I feel like we know more about those two teams. If Green Bay goes to Seattle and they win that one, I'm more in the camp of, okay, Green Bay's played, it's almost like college football. You've played a tougher schedule. You're a better team. I got a chance to see it, and I got a chance to see it in Seattle too.
Yeah.
Which has never been an easy place to play.
Right.
So I think that Sunday night game offers a lot from a matchup standpoint too.
I think it's more important for Seattle, because you got the Rams hunting you down. Like, they're chasing you down.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like eye tests.
What it looks like.
Comparing the two teams.
You know, I don't. So
because I think Green Bay's better, but
I thought Green Bay, the game that they played last week, was essentially all I need. Like, they showed me something, the way that they ran, even though they lost at Detroit, the way that they ran the football, they showed me a lot of grit and ability to do those things. And that, that's the thing that's going to carry you come playoff time. Can you run the football? Josh Jacobs had a heck of a game against the Detroit Lions. Detroit is a better team. They got more weapons. They got more going, and they got a coach that doesn't mind playing with 4 downs every single series, which is tough to get off the field if that team is going to go for it on 4th down 5 times in a game. But what Green Bay showed me last week, them going to Seattle and playing a good game and losing, I still think that they're a really good team, and the right matchup, they can have a chance to win.
That's Carey Davis, Super Bowl champion. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. By the way, Splashback Deuce said, on second thought, maybe it's a good idea that you guys haven't been doing the podcast.
Why?
What does that mean?
What are you saying?
What are you saying, Splashback Deuce?
Because he was saying that we got to do it here. For them. But you could listen to it.
What the?
French.
Toast? What's trending is next on 101 ESPN. This weekend, head out to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Take advantage of their massive year-end dealer discounts. We're talking nearly $12,000 off MSRP on select new Nissan models. It's all there at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, plus over 700 new and used vehicles, all in one location. And like I said before, with discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. It's their year-end dealer discount giveaway, and the prices on vehicles right now are insane at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. So head out there or check them out online. Start there. That's what my wife Kristen and I did. We started online. We looked at a lot of vehicles. We priced some things out. We thought about what our family needed, and when we lined up all the tests, the test drives, eventually we wound up with a Nissan Pathfinder that we love. It fits our family perfect. But if you're not in the market for a Nissan, or you find something else that you like, great. They've got available no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans, or no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. It's one of the largest selections of used vehicles that you're going to find. As always, they're qualified new and used vehicles at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum come with the complimentary lifetime warranty, plus all new Nissans come with a 30-day return promise. No one offers this option, with 3 free oil changes included through the Nissan Maintenance Care Plan. Check them out online, AutoCentersNissan.com. When you do head out there this weekend to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
What's Trending Now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, we talked about this earlier in the day, but Devin Williams is now a New York Yankee, and Kyle Tucker is now a Chicago Cub. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't like this one bit. I don't like it.
I don't mind Devin Williams getting the hell out of the division.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
But
no,
the Cubs
for
loading
sure.
up. Yeah. And then you said that you just read a report/rumor that the Cubs might also be in on Alex Bregman.
Potentially.
Okay. All right.
Couldn't have picked a worse team to get good right now. Well, the Cardinals do nothing.
Hey, you know what? Have your fun. Now.
I don't
keep getting gooder.
Any other team can have fun. I don't want the Cubs to have any fun.
That's what Turner Ward said. You got to keep getting gooder.
Wait, what? Did he just say that?
Turner Ward did say that when he was first hired.
Oh, Turner.
You got to keep getting gooder.
Okay.
Gooder.
Nah, I have no room to talk. I butcher the English language as well sometimes. So, Marsh, we don't talk about the Cubs a lot. I do wonder if, and I know you've been hoping for the Cardinals to potentially land Sasaki.
I hope.
I wonder if the Cubs are loading up that way and
going to get him themselves?
He's fine with a major market that's not on one of the ghosts.
Oh, that would ruin my day.
Cody Bellinger still there?
Nah, I don't think he's going to be there.
Why not? I don't think they're going to get rid of him if they're moving, if they're doing all of these.
That's my thought on
moving and grabbing all of these people.
Why would you load up?
Why would you let him go?
Why would you be the Houston Astros of the Midwest and give up Cody Bellinger? Why wouldn't you keep him?
I didn't say that it was a smart organization, Anthony.
Okay. But they acquired, this has been a weird team. We thought they were going to basically tear it down when they had their fire sale the one year, only to turn around in the offseason and sign Dansby Swanson, only to turn around in the following offseason and sign Cody Bellinger. Now they acquire Kyle Tucker, and perhaps they sign Alex Bregman. Oh, that lineup would be pretty sick. Ian Happ's a good hitter. They got a couple of just fine, defensive guys like Nico Horner. I don't like it.
You get nervous?
Well, there's nothing for us to get nervous about because it's not like the Cardinals are trying.
What? Here's the thing. I just don't want them to be good.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
No, it's fair. That's fair. That's all you have to say,
I don't want them to be good.
Worst possible imaginable situation.
I'll tell you what. There's nothing worse than a Cubs fan. There's nothing worse than a Cubs fan. Yeah, you can say, Yankees fans. You can say Dodger fans.
Red Sox fans.
And they're up there.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a Cubs fan.
Now, why is that, Marsh?
Well, they're from Chicago, Anthony.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Chicago's a good city.
I never said anything about the city. It is a fun city to travel to.
But Cubs fan.
Just can't stand them.
If you could describe, Red Sox fan. Annoying.
Yeah.
Right. Cub fan.
Just
ridiculous.
Okay.
Ridiculous.
All right. Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh, even worse.
Insufferable.
Yes.
Yeah. Agitating.
Yeah, I would say clueless.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Yeah, it's a good one. Okay. Just checking.
I would think that a lot of people would agree with me, Anthony. Not Chicago Cub fans.
No, but virtually
everybody else in the world.
Anybody else?
Maybe anybody
Cardinal
listening
fans.
to this program.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a Cub fan or two out there that are listening that don't appreciate what you're saying about their friendly confine team.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Lovable losers is what they like to call themselves, Anthony.
that they feel that way.
There you go. There it is.
They not call themselves that anymore?
No, because they won in 2016.
They're still losers. What else have they done?
They have not.
They won more recently
yeah, I was
than
about
us,
Yep. That's what I was going to say. But I didn't want to say it. You know?
I'll say it.
All right.
The 636 says, Marsh, have you ever met a Chiefs fan? I have. They're up there. They're in the conversation now.
Every January and February, we have one in the studio with us.
That's true.
It's ridiculous.
He's not as bad, but.
He's not. And Marsh, he might be worse, actually.
I don't know about that.
Marshy.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this
the
one.
Bandwagon and is full tilt a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Like, it's pretty damn bad. It's not good. Like, you imagine they win the AFC Championship game and you just mark my words how unbearable this is going to be.
He'll say, I told you.
See what I'm saying?
Told you so.
Yeah.
I knew this all along.
The entire time.
I can't believe you guys right now.
I'm just saying.
All right, so what's worse? Me as a Chiefs fan or me as a Yukon Husky fan?
They are equally terrible. But at least the Huskies, I think you started the year, or did you?
No,
Oh,
I started in the bracket.
In the tournament.
At least I called that. Like when they were a 4 seed, when they've won back to back, right?
Yes,
they've won back to back. They're going for the third. 2 years ago, they were the 4 seed, and I predicted them to win it all.
You did.
So I had to run it back last year.
You did.
You did.
You did.
Okay.
But that Kansas City Chiefs nonsense was bad, man. You talked about it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You left me.
To do what?
Because you and I
I thought
we were on the Ravens.
I thought the Ravens were going to win.
And then,
you did.
And then we said if the Chiefs lose, we're never going against Mahomes again. And I have honored that.
If they win.
You jumped off.
Well, if they win, you win it.
Like that an hour later. I stuck with them.
After they beat.
I bleed red.
Oh, God.
During those 2 weeks.
The Chiefs fans, there's something. But Boston, New England fans, when it comes to their football team when they were winning, it's not even close.
No, well,
they're the worst in football.
Red Sox fan?
Well, yeah,
same deal.
You know what? The more I'm thinking about it, I think the Red Sox,
awful.
they're terrible.
They're terrible people.
They just, that 04.
Is that the whole Boston area? Bruins, Patriots, Red Sox.
You know what they feel?
It's funny, I don't mind the Celtics at all. And it's not just Jason Tatum.
Entitled.
Yeah, they're entitled. Those Red Sox fans, Boston fans. Yeah, but 04, oh, look at us. We haven't won. We're going to break the curse. Look at everybody loves us. And then by 06, by 06, or 07, excuse me, 07, they were already insufferable.
For sure.
In 3 years, Boston Red Sox fan went from, oh, look at you guys, good job, good work, to, really? I want the Rockies to destroy you.
And they didn't.
And they didn't.
No,
it's
those
been awful
black
ever
jerseys
since.
couldn't help them on that run.
Oh, well.
It's unfortunate. Real quick here, before we move on, Carey, I might be saying this wrong. I probably am. The Biletnikoff.
Fred Biletnikoff.
The trophy. Congratulations, Travis Hunter. However, there's some people that don't believe that he should have won that.
Why?
Because this Nash fella from San Jose State had better numbers than he did.
Yeah, well.
Would you agree with that?
People always ask me, well, who do they play? You know? Who do they play?
And what do you say? They play the people on their schedule.
They do.
Go ahead, use it now, Carey. Go for it.
It is what it is. I mean, Travis Hunter is, he's one of the better players.
Gonna win the
in
Heisman.
college football. I don't know if he will win the Heisman.
So here is a gentleman from CBS Sports. His name's Mike Renner. Says, I am a Biletnikoff voter. Nash was my last choice in the final rankings. Over 1/4 of Nash's yards came against the FCS. Nash had only 3 games with 100-plus yards against FBS programs. Hunter had 6. Nash averaged less yards per target, 8.03, than 25 FBS quarterbacks average per attempt. Please watch college football games. Well, you know, the website, the app known as X, has this thing called, well, actually, I forgot what it's called, but it's when, community notes. Community notes. So this voter got community noted, which is not a good look. Only 170 of Nash's 1,382 yards came in San Jose State's games versus FCS Sacramento State, which is 12.3%. He had 4 games with over 100 yards against FBS opponents. Kennesaw State, who is an FBS team, not FCS. Washington State, Oregon State, and Boise State. So this guy had pretty good numbers against a couple, at least against Boise State he did.
Well, he
was a top 12 team.
Travis Hunter won the Biletnikoff. He also won the Chuck Bednarik Award, which is the best defensive player. I don't think he wins the Heisman. I think it's still Ashton Genty, who is outstanding. He is a hell of a football player. And Ashton Genty won the Maxwell Award, which is the Player of the Year, which is almost like the Golden Globe, Anthony.
Not every time you win that do you win
usually
an Oscar.
Just saying.
What? But not
today.
This year.
Okay.
All right. Get those fantasy football start and sit questions in right now. We do this every Friday. We know you're playing in the playoffs. Congratulations, by the way. Send in those questions. CD and I will answer them next. Fantasy football starts and sits. 314-399-9646 is how you can reach the show to send in any fantasy start sit questions. That is next. One of my favorite things to do when my wife Chris and I are talking about where to go for, the holiday, around holiday times, like, hey, let's check out the MAC. Let's see what they have. Because the Missouri Athletic Club, they send out their Diamond magazine, and a lot of times you flip through it, and they've got the events right there in the front to say what's going on. So like Christmas dinners, Santa workshops, breakfast with Santa, they got it all. When the calendar flips to the new year, they'll have all kinds of all new stuff when it comes to January. I love being a club member. It's my MAC, the Missouri Athletic Club.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues lose last night to the San Jose Sharks by a final score of 4-3. Here's what we have for you this weekend on 101 ESPN. Army-Navy game tomorrow. Pregame starts at 1. Then we'll have Blues at Stars, with the pregame starting at 6 with Alex Ferrario. Puck drop will be at 7. And on Sunday, we'll have Browns and Chiefs pregame at 11. Following that will be the Blues and the Rangers with the pregame starting at 4. After the show, we'll have an instant replay show for you from 6 to 7 if you missed anything from today's shows. And if you missed anything from our show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dodge Tire and Auto Centers. We have our fantasy football starts and sits. It's playoff time, baby. So if you have any questions, send your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, so time for the fantasy starts and sits. If Carey and I disagree, which does happen, Marsh is going to be the tiebreaker. We got to give you a Fast Lane answer here. So, Gator from the Snake Pit actually asked us a couple of minutes ago, would you go with Tua or would you go with Sam Darnold? And he throws out that he also has Tyreek Hill and Aaron Jones.
I'm going Tua. If
So
Tyreek is your receiver, one of your receivers, I'm going Tua because I think that they need to win, obviously. Not that Minnesota doesn't want to continue to win, but the Miami Dolphins, they have to win. They got to find a way to win by any means necessary. And even if they're down in that game, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Tyreek Hill hasn't had that big explosive game as of yet. I know he's had a pretty good game last week, but not that 10, 12 catch, 175 yard, 2 touchdown. You could have that today. This weekend. So I would go with Tua for that game.
Yeah, the Bears actually have a slightly better defense against fantasy quarterbacks this year at 14. Houston is 16, so not much of a difference. Both games will be indoors. I think game script also matters here.
Yeah.
You know, the Dolphins, like you said, they're gonna have to probably. I imagine that game is going to be tight late in the fourth quarter,
right.
So you may have to keep throwing. Whereas Minnesota, if they get up on Chicago, maybe they run the ball. So you have Aaron Jones, so you're kind of covered there. But then you have the matchup with Tua and Hill, that connection. So I would go with Tua as well. All right, to the text line.
To the text line we go from the 314, T. Higgins or Jameson Williams.
So the Bengals have the Titans. So not a bad matchup there. Tennessee's decent against the secondary versus the Bills and Jameson Williams.
I think I'm going T.
I got to go T too.
I think I'm going T. Higgins.
Yeah, here's the thing. Think about it this way. What's Cincinnati's offense?
They throw the ball to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
That's it.
And Joe Burrow.
It's
He's
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Throwing to
Chase
one of those
Brown
two guys.
has gotten active. He's starting to get more involved, which
Sure,
he's playing really well. But
that's the offense.
They're throwing the ball to T. Higgins. They're throwing the ball to Jamar Chase.
Sorry, Sari.
No, you good.
Carey.
Sari?
Sorry, Sari.
Hey, Sari, can you tell us which player to start this week?
I combined it, Carey and Sari to get Sari. Detroit has David Montgomery. They've got Jahmyr Gibbs. They've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They've got Sam Laporta. They can go to
Tim Patrick last week.
Yeah. Could Jameson Williams have 4 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown? Absolutely. But I think the better bet would be T. Higgins.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, this one comes from Marty, Ladd McConkey, or Marvin Harrison Jr.
Wow.
If Ladd is playing, I'm going Ladd. For whatever reason, Marvin has been kind of hit or miss. And I generally go with the better quarterback in those discussions. And I think I would trust Justin Herbert more than I would trust Kyler Murray.
So you and I are on the same page here for these. I would also go Ladd McConkey. Tampa Bay 31st against fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah.
Second to last. And he was their offense 2 weeks ago in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Last week he was hurt, as CD mentioned. So, yeah, Ladd McConkey.
From the 314, A.J. Brown is the beef worth of benching.
No, he's one of your top guys. You got to go.
Not ever.
Yeah, that's a top 10, top 15 receiver. Christopher from the Snake Pit also just asked something. Christopher, you want to ask again so I can see what that was? It scrolled up. Maybe Carey's got it pulled up. Go ahead, Marsh.
Golfer Allen.
Oh, Golfer Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go Josh Allen.
He put up like 50
you got to go
points
Josh Allen.
last
It's not,
week.
yeah, he's the top fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
It's not even
he's the reason why I didn't make the playoffs in one of my leagues.
There you go.
I put up 160 plus points and lost.
That's
needed a win to make the playoffs. Felt real good with my Sam Darnold and Jordan Addison connection.
I would too.
Was feeling real good, and then Josh Allen decided. Well, yeah, I mean, even that final drive, like just flags. Let me just run the ball in. Like, dude, can you please
2 points.
not? No, it's like 8 points.
No, I mean just the touchdown. If he threw it, it's 4. If he ran it, it's 6. So just on that,
yeah.
Sorry, Marsh. Sorry about your car.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh Allen, 100%.
100%. From the 314, Drake London or Mike Evans? Who would you go with?
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans. I'm not trusting those.
Say it.
I can't do it anymore. I'm over it.
Thank you.
I'm over Kirky football and the Atlanta Falcons.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Probably go off this week.
If I'm the Falcons, I'm running the ball 60 times.
60?
If you want to stick with Kirky football, fine. That's your funeral.
Feels like a lot.
But you turn around, you hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and whoever the hell the third guy is. All right?
Remember when he
Chase
ran
McClellan, former Alabama quarterback. Let's go.
He ran for 1,000 yards, I believe, in his first season.
Bijan?
No. Tyler Algier.
Oh, yeah.
And then they drafted another running back.
That's correct.
That stinks.
Because here's the thing, Marsh. When you draft outside guys, running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, when you make that the focal point of your team, you can win 6 games a year. Go ahead, Marsh.
From the 618, Najee or Brees?
Who's that?
Najee Harris or Brees Hall?
I'm not trusting the Jets.
Oh, man.
The Steelers got the...
Got to go Najee Harris.
Ooh, well...
The Eagles.
Yeah. But this is because Najee was very active in the passing game in the last couple of games as well.
I'd go Brees Hall.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm probably going Najee.
At Jacksonville, 30th ranked.
Is Brees Hall going to play? He was injured last week.
He didn't play last week.
But I'd go Brees Hall. Jacksonville, 30th against fantasy running backs. Philadelphia's 5th. I'd go Brees Hall. You're going...
Najee Harris.
Marshy?
Ooh. I go Najee Harris.
There you have it.
Well, Gator disagrees.
Okay.
Thank you, Gator.
That's fine.
So Gator and I are on Brees Hall, if you trust Gator and I.
Yeah.
If not, you go with Marsh and Carey. Fine choices either way.
He hasn't been the same running back this year.
No, he hasn't. You're right.
So,
But,
I don't know. I'd go with the
better
guy,
matchup.
honestly, go with the guys that have got you there. So if Najee Harris has been that guy, go with him. If Brees Hall has been that guy, go with him. Like, you just got to go with your gut at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm going Najee Harris on that one. Okay, from the 314, pick 3 out of 4. Waddle, A.J. Brown, Sutton, Garrett Wilson.
I'm going Brown.
Waddle, A.J. Brown, Sutton, and Wilson.
I'm going Brown, Sutton.
Yeah. And then you got to go Waddle.
I think Waddle as well.
Wilson.
I think Waddle as well. That's where I was leaning. But I feel like Wilson was at one point like leading the league in receptions.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but he was at one point.
Let me check it. Let me check. Hold on here.
Let's see.
It's Michael Wilson, right?
No, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Oh, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Who's
No, you're-
Micah Wilson?
Michael Wilson from Arizona has
Michael
actually had,
Wilson.
Michael Wilson.
I'm thinking it's Garrett Wilson.
I'm going Garrett Wilson.
I'm thinking Garrett
Micah.
Wilson.
A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, and
Cortland Sutton. Over Waddle?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it's Garrett Wilson.
No, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, then yes. Oh, then it's not. To me, it's Brown, Wilson.
I'm okay with that.
And Sutton.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But I still think that.
To me, it's not, honestly, it's not even
Jonnu
close.
Smith has started taking some of the receptions away. They're going to go to Tyreek. Devon Achane is catching a lot of passes. Like
it's not. It's not. To me, at least, it's not a discussion. Darth 007, Mahomes or Daniels.
Rolling with my homies. I'm going Daniels. Give me Jaden Daniels. I don't want nothing to do with that Kansas City offense.
Yeah, you got to go with Jaden Daniels. The last time we did this, though, BT, he was filling in, and we had a Mahomes or somebody question. It was Goff, and I'm like, you got to go Goff. Mahomes hasn't been, he hasn't done anything in fantasy.
Goff through 5 picks.
And BT goes, you got to go Mahomes. It's easy. So we got into this argument back and forth. That was when Mahomes played Carolina. He had like 3 touchdowns. Goff did nothing. So there's that.
And just got to base it off of what has happened thus far.
Yeah. Jane Daniels.
From the 217, need to pick 2. Breece Hall, Tony Pollard, James Conner.
Breece Hall, James Conner, and who?
Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, James Conner.
I'm going James Conner. Probably Pollard. I'm not. Breece Hall, I just don't know. Like I said, he didn't play last week.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets stink, man. Like, this is not
in Jacksonville.
Which lets you know. Further lets you know.
Yeah.
Jacksonville probably win that game.
Maybe. But no, I agree. James Conner and Tony Pollard. All right, Mark, you want to do one more?
One more. We got a tight end one. From the 314, Cade Otton or Pat Freiermuth in half PPR.
I'm going Cade Otton.
That's a good one. Cade Otton faces the number 1 fantasy defense against tight ends.
What?
In the Chargers.
George Pickens isn't playing.
Pat Freiermuth faces the 11th. But I think it's got to be Cade Otton.
I think it is, too. He's the guy.
I think Pat has touchdowns in like
the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not
getting a lot of receptions.
It's
though.
he's not targeted a lot.
He's touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
They're not looking for him in the passing game. They're just finding him in the passing game.
Otton's the second guy now in the passing game behind Mike Evans. All right. Well, thank you. Hope you do well.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you win.
CD's on a bye in our 101 league.
Way to go, CD. Nice job there,
Thank
buddy.
you kindly.
Nice job.
I'm in 4 leagues. I got 2 buys.
All right.
I'm in all
good.
4 playoffs, though.
Hey.
Yeah.
Carey Davis.
Sari Davis.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
All right, we've got Bet the Board. We've got 3 stars of the day, and we've got your criticisms and hopefully some compliments next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Top Star and Auto Centers. Okay, time to bet the board. None of us, and I mean none of us, hit last night. We all had a variety of plays. We all stunk. Time to regroup, guys. Marsh, latest standings are?
Nothing's changed. So 6 points for myself, you, Anthony, and Jamie, and Carey's still at 4.
All of us at 4, huh?
No. You missed what Marsh said first there. The three of us are at 6. Carey is at 4.
Oh, did I miss that?
You missed the end part of that, yeah. Did you? I thought you were playing.
I was serious. I was like, all of us at 4. I thought Marshy said he was at 6, and Jamie and Anthony and Carey are all at 4.
No.
Nah.
No, the three of us are at 6. You're at 4.
Missed it.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be last.
Marsh, go ahead.
Give me the over 39.5 in the Army-Navy game.
There you go.
It's a defensive struggle.
Typically, those games are.
I feel like this year's going to be different.
The under's cash. Like I think it went over last year in like a fluke play, like a safety at the end of the game or something. But those Army-Navy games have been hitting the under pretty consistently.
39.5?
Yep, 39.5. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot of points.
Give me Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yesterday.
I did say that yesterday.
Give me Carey's Pittsburgh Steelers plus 5.5. Mike Tomlin as an underdog. Yes, please. Yes.
Like it. Is it on me?
It's on Jamie, who sent Marsh his pick.
What has he got? Marshy?
Get back to me in 1 second. Let me pull it up on my phone.
All right. So I have, give me Justin Tucker, 1.5 field goals made minus 110. And give me Lamar Jackson, 1.5 passing touchdowns over. And give me Mark Andrews, 3.5 receptions. And give me... Oh, I changed it. Let me go back. Let me look at it. Didn't want that one. Lamar Jackson over 29.5 passing and rushing. And Brian Robinson over 4.5 receiving yards. And Cooper Rush over 2.5 rushing yards.
You went back to the CMU well.
Yeah.
All right, you send those to us because one of those you said Lamar over 29.5.
259.5.
That makes more sense.
Rushing and
receiving.
Passing.
Or, yeah, he would
passing
be receiving. Passing, thank you.
So, Jamie, Anthony, you had this play not too long ago, but the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers, you like the over in that game.
Oh, yeah.
And this weekend, they're taking on each other. Minus 120 is the over. Jamie, for whatever reason, likes the under, which is exactly what happened last time.
Yeah, 1-0. I was
at plus 100, so
wow,
kind of decent odds.
Yeah, I was highly disappointed in that game. Hopefully he will be too. Marsh, go ahead.
All right, 3 stars of the day before we get out of here. Our third star of the day goes to Sari Davis.
Sari Davis.
That's what happens when you combine Carey and Sorry together. You get Sari.
Second star of the day goes out to the movie Christmas Vacation.
Yes, thank you, Marsh.
Great
Thank
film.
you. No, don't you dare.
From what I've been told.
Don't you dare mock. Don't you dare mock.
Clark, what's Clark's last name?
Griswold.
Yeah, Clark. Griswold.
First star of the day, of course, goes to the Water Boy.
Yeah, Waterboy, nice job. You brought the Gridiron Guys podcast to these airwaves at 5 o'clock. Nice job there, Waterboy. Well done. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you for listening throughout the course of the week and watching via the YouTube channel. We got the Army-Navy game tomorrow, and, of course, Blue Stars pregame starting at 6 o'clock. For Jamie Rivers, for Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Thank you. See you.